Hello! Welcome to another mother flipping stream. How about that? How about that? Bet you didn't expect that shit to happen. Yes, welcome. Today is Sunday, and that means didn't expect that. Okay, sure. That means today, according to the schedule, we're doing game development. That's right. Finally, Advent of Code is over and we can relax and just do our regular schedule and just do some shit posting instead of, properly solving problems or anything like that. Let's just continue shit posting. Everyone, hello Out9, hello Fish 1301, Jiang, Gaylolo, PQ Ling, Iron 6969, Draco. Draco Deer Pandas, Good Duke, Code9, Yetanasov, Cody Boy, what else? Darrington Sydney, G8, A8B, 0 something, Ugly Boogly, John Yetanasov, hello everyone, and course 94, hello, really glad to see you all. Today, hello NordyBHU1. So today, according to the Skidoodle, we're doing a game development. How about that? And this time, for real. No Advent of Code, no anything, just a game development in Z++. So today we continue developing a game that I started to develop quite a while ago, I think almost a year ago. It's called something. It's not the real name of the game, it's just a code name. Also, the look and feel of the game is not final, so it's all a prototype, so we're developing a gameplay along with the engine and stuff like that, so yeah, be patient. Alright, so let's actually fetch the latest changes. This is not how you fetch the latest changes, that's for sure. It seems when you have your new haircut, I actually did this haircut today. Right, this is like for the first time. This is like a reveal of my new hair. All right, so let's merge that origin master. Origin. I wonder what's origin though. Origin stir. All right, let's rebuild this entire shit and see how it goes. Let's take a look at the game. From bold to bolder, yes. So it's taking some time, specifically because I decided to build a release. Maybe I should have not done that. But this is how the game looks like. Look at that. It's a simple platformer. You can jump around. You can do pew pew pew, right? You can do pew 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 with different projectiles. Holy shit! Xbilanch is gifting 1-tier sub to the Zosian community. While I'm in the middle of explaining stuff, thank you for supporting the Zosian community and Rotor Chauncey. Welcome to our epic Z++ game development club. How about that? How does it feel to be a part of the game development club? Pretty cool, right? Okay, so this is the what you can do in the game, and we have also different things. You can place the blocks of different kind. So now it is not a Minecraft. Okay, stop calling it a Minecraft. It's not a Minecraft. All right. So we also have different attacks that we developed recently. Yeah, I think recently we developed Stomp. Oh yeah, we were working in the middle of actually implementing like an ice spike attack. Yeah, and this is where this effect is coming from, right? So, and you also have we also have different enemies. Wait a second, where are the enemies and shit? So I'm gonna put an enemy here. And these kind of enemies are capable of pathfinding you and also using like a stomp attacks to attack you and shit. So, and they're also capable of shooting at you. So there's something strange going on. Yeah, so there's something broken, but anyway, so this is the game. How about that? Today we're gonna continue developing this thing. Isn't that amazing? I think it's pretty goddamn amazing. Hello Hertz and Plots, hello everyone who joined, hello. Let's see what we can do, I haven't developed this game for quite some time because of the Advent of Code. They should be also be able to walk through walls, teleport, and fly. Unfortunately, this is not the AAA game, so it's a small indie game, so we don't have as many bugs as in the AAA games. So we have only indie bugs. I didn't see anything in that piece of code to slow down the CPU. Do you just use 100% of CPU core while the game is running? What is CPU? Alright, so let's do origin master. It's time to parse command line arguments and learn how to read the file. Yes. Realistic hair physics? Yes. You don't need hair physics if you don't have a hair. Funny, funny. Downgrade 8 to 27. No, I'm not downgrading 8 to non-existent versions. I can upgrade it, by the way. I think the time has come to upgrade 8. Crap, poop, ugly. So that's what CPU means. Oh yes, yeah. I use 100% of crap, poop, ugly. Yes, yes, that's what I do. All right. So let's merge everything. What the fuck? By the way, did I fetch everything? I think I fetched everything, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay, can I remove that and can I remove that? Yes, I can. I fucking can, mate. Yeah, there we go. What do we got? What do we got? So I want to just go to the issue tracker and maybe find an issue that I could work on. Something to implement, something chill to implement. Chat, stop. The 27th version of 8 does not exist. It never existed. It's a myth. It's a myth. You cannot use it. Okay? Stop. Stop. Stop using it. It's not supported. It doesn't exist. Yes. That's it. Alright. So, a bug. To be fair, I'm not in the middle of fixing bugs. Ice Golem don't have any brain. That's a good issue, by the way. So for those who doesn't know, we have a notion of the brain for the entities, right? So if you take a look at the entity, where is an entity? Struct entity. So yeah, here's the entity. And each entity usually has some sort of a brain, right? So they have a brain which controls their AI. And as far as I know, when we create an Ice Golem entity, right, when we create an Ice Golem entity, it doesn't really have a brain, but it does have a brain. So I guess what we meant here is that it doesn't have a specific brain for Ice Golem. That's probably what we meant. There's no like a very specific unique behavior for the Ice Golem. Which kind of sad, but okay. Application crashes without audio, no sound for Ice Block Placer. No sound for Dirt Block Placer, no sound for Ice Gun, Rock Gun, yeah, so we have a lot of things to do. But which one is the most important one? There's no weapon that uses the spike mechanics. I think that one. Ice Golem? Yes, you didn't see our Ice Golems? I can show you an Ice Golem. I can show you my Ice Golem. There you go. How do you like my Ice Golem? It was actually, the sprites were drawn by Kolumbetka. So, yeah. And I think this motherfucker was stuck. Yeah, and it actually fell off the world. So yeah. I'm gonna write a paper and reference AIDS 27. So that means your paper is gonna be invalid, just like the version of the AIDS. Stop. Alright. There are actual playtesters, damn. Who are playtesters? What's this? Excuse me, I don't understand what's going on. It doesn't exist, okay? It doesn't exist. So stop. This link is banned. This link is banned. This is a confidential information, okay? Stop. By the way, I just realized that if entity falls below a particular Y limit, it never dies. So yeah, essentially we don't have like a death limit. So you see, I keep falling down, I keep falling down, and I will never die actually. So I'll never die to void or anything like that, and that's kind of sad. That's kind of sad. So maybe we should introduce like, you know, a way to die somehow. And it's gonna keep accelerating, by the way. It's gonna keep accelerating. It's just falling into the void. So I want to introduce a command. So do we have a command? I need to find commands. We have a command somewhere here. And the command I want to add something like inspect entity. Yes, that's what I want to introduce. Inspect. And by the way, for those who doesn't know, we have a console in the game. Look at that. Yeah, we have a console, and you can add commands, like developer commands there. For example, you can enable no clip, right? And it didn't work. Because why? Oh, you have to do on, right? And after that, you also have to go to... Well, I think you have to be... Yeah, you have to be in the debug mode first of all. And only then you're gonna be in a no clip mode. How about that? And then you can do off, and then you actually disable that no clip mode. So, isn't that epic? Isn't that epic? I think it's pretty goddamn epic. So the thing I want to do now, I want to introduce a command that will let me inspect an entity. How about that? So inspect an entity, inspect an entity. It's almost like the name of the command was not self-explanatory, so I had to give an additional description saying what it's all about. So the command is going to be called command inspect entity. There we go. So, and this has to be just a function that accepts the state of the game that it can modify and the arguments that it has to parse appropriately. So it's going to be command inspect entity, right? And we just have to implement this thing somewhere in here, somewhere in here. There we go, there we go. So how are we gonna do all of that? How are we gonna do all of that? I think I'm gonna do something like chop word, and I wonder if AIDS even supports anything like that. But by the way, for those who doesn't know, AIDS is the replacement for STD in C++ that I developed for myself, and I use it in all of my pet projects. You can find the source code here. And I'm still using 21st version of AIDS, even though I think the recent version of AIDS is not 27, by the way. The 27th version does not exist. Stop. Whoever mentions 27th version is permabanned from this channel, okay? Okay, we're silencing. So silencing the truth, okay? So, and the latest one I think is, yeah, 34.1. How about that? 34.1. One huge. What the fuck is one huge? All right, so yeah. So chop word. Yeah, you can actually chop a word. You can actually chop a word, and then you can do something like as number, as integer, I think, as integer, and you can convert it to something like size t. So, and that will enable you to just chop off a word, and you can treat it as an entity ID, right? So it's going to be entity index, yeah, and this is your entity index. This is your entity index, which you can use then to query the entity in the game. So in the game, you should be able to do something like entities, and you can take entity index and unwrap it, and here is your entity. Here's your entity. So something like this. Isn't it cool? Isn't it cool? I think it's pretty goddamn cool. And for example, we can do different things. We can query the entity's status or entity state. So entity state, and then we go to the game console, and we print that state to the console, right? So we print it to the console, and I'm pretty sure it won't be able to print it because you'll also have to create a special printer for that state. This video will be in YouTube also. Yes, it will be in YouTube also. You can check out this channel here. So all of the streams that we do here, they're going to be uploaded to that YouTube channel on the next day, right? So we upload them on the next day, all of them, except maybe the ones that where I do something very dangerous and TOS unfriendly, which is quite unlikely, but who knows? Who fucking knows? Even in that case, I will try to edit the video and cut out parts that are not, you know, TOS friendly or something. It's not like I want to do something TOS unfriendly, right? It's just shit happens, you know? Shit happens, right? Look at forcing. Shit happens. Oh, by the way, forcing is unbanned. Forcing been unbanned recently. I think yesterday. It's actually kind of funny. He got unbanned in his chat. Like, he's been offline and his chat was fucking crazy. I think they were listening to Gacha or something. It was actually pretty cool. It was a cool celebration. And Forcing didn't know about that. Forcing didn't know that his community actually celebrated his unban. It's fucking classic Forcing, am I right? It's like... Gacha is the best celebrations. Yes, I do agree with that. AIDS. You created the fucking command for that. Holy shit. God damn. Okay. Stop. There you go. Barbara Streisand effect in action. Am I right? Okay, so something debug. What we're doing here, you cannot convert long unsigned into size T. Oh, it has to be maybe. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh fuck. So yeah, this shit cannot be properly. Yeah, you have to do something like this. Let's call it entity index. Entity index, right? So yeah, I forgot that as integer actually doesn't return you the number. It doesn't return you the number, it returns you maybe number. I'm gonna show you what that means. Look at that. So as integer, right? So why does it return maybe integer? This is because string may not be an integer. And if the string is not an integer, well, you cannot parse it, so it may return nothing. It may return nothing. So, and we have to check that, and we have to actually properly throw an error. Okay, we're trying to parse the argument as an integer if entity index doesn't have a value. If it doesn't have a value, we can put it like that actually. Maybe we're gonna like have this weird thingy, right? So if you have a value, you're trying to yeah, you're trying to use it. If you don't have it, we're gonna print an error, right? We're gonna print an error, something like error expected number entity index, but got cooler, but got. I want to do this, but that means I'll have to call chop word twice. So I think I'm gonna extract that to argument, right? This is gonna be argument, and this is how we're gonna actually approach that. So you see, first we chop off a word as an argument, and then we're trying to convert it to an integer, and if we couldn't convert it to an integer, we say expected a number, but got this bullshit, right? So, and hopefully after that, this shit will compile. So we're gonna do a compilation of our nation, and doesn't compile. Let's see why. And I know exactly why. I know exactly why, because the state that we're trying to print, right? So trying to print the state of the entity. The state of the entity. It's not a printable thing. We couldn't. Okay, very funny. So this thing is not printable, right? It is not printable. Let me see if we can make it printable. I'm gonna go to the entity, HPP. So here's the entity state that we're trying to print here. And what I need to do here, I just need to implement one of those printers. It's going to be sprint1, which accepts, I think it accepts string buffer, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember what exactly it accepts. It actually boils down to this thing. Yeah, it accepts a pointer to the string buffer. And what we're going to accept here is entity state. Right, and essentially, right, we're gonna do switch state, and we're gonna take 3 of these thingies. I'm gonna put them here, and then I'm just gonna do up, and then up, and then a little bit of Emacs magic that you probably don't even expect, right? Something like case, right, and boom, boom. And depending on this thing, we're gonna return different things. So it's gonna be something, we're not gonna even return anything, I think. It's gonna be just sprint buffer dead, sprint buffer alive, and sprint buffer poof. So, and what's funny is that I think I need to, after each printing here, I'll have to put a break like this, boom, and somewhere here, in case of a default, we have to do something like panic, unreachable state, unreachable. You know what? Can we have, like in Rust, by the way, do we have any epic rasters in the chat? Do we have any epic rasters? Because in Rust you have something like unreachable, right? So we can just put it like that. And I think that will be actually pretty good, a cool addition to aids, right? Just have unreachable. Yeah, I think I'm gonna implement it. So, and it's gonna be as simple as unreachable, and it's just panics. You just do panic on a reachable state of the execution. And maybe we can make a printer there. Maybe we're gonna allow printing there. EverX, what the fuck? Welcome to the streams. How are you doing, buddy? How are you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're essentially re-implementing Rust in C++. But you didn't expect that shit to happen. I wrote Hello World in Rust a few years ago. Does it count? Yes, it does count. You're an epic rooster now. Okay. So what I want to do here is actually make it templated. You can type name args, I think. I don't remember. I think you have to do it like that. Maybe. Yeah. Args. And then I hope I didn't fuck it up. I never wrote any Rust. Does that count? Yes, it does count. Sometimes, to be fair, sometimes when I read a Rust subreddit and comments in a Rust subreddit, I feel like 2/3 of people never programmed in Rust. Anyway, so here's the thing. You can do unreachable, and we can put something like sprint1 for entity state, right? Sprint1 for entity state. I wrote a calculator in Rust a few years ago. Nice. Rust, the video game? Oh, I play it every day. It is my life, Papa. Haha, I'm not your father, by the way. I did a DNA test yesterday. I'm not your father. Alright, so that should be sufficient enough. Oh shit, how do I compile this stuff? Okay, so I think you have to put these things like this. Hell yeah, brother! Kick code. Oh yeah, and on top of that, you also have to prefix this shit. Are we adopted? I really didn't want to tell you that, but yes. Entity state. All right, but I still love you. I still love you all. I mean, like my actual children. So something really strange. All right. how do I use templates? Does anyone know where I have to put this shit? Does anyone know? I forgot. We love you to think. Very good to you. Does anyone remember where I have to put the dots? You know what is going on here, chat? You know what is going on? Old aids. My aids are that old that I don't have a standalone panic. How edit multiple lines? There's many things. There's many ways to do that. You can use multiple cursors extension. You can also use rectangular selection, which comes with Emacs, right? So if you use rectangular selection, you don't need to install anything for Emacs. If you want to use a multiple cursors extension, you'll have to install it. It just depends on what you want to use. Okay, so I think shut. We need to upgrade the aids. We need to upgrade the aids before we can continue. Okay, I'm gonna try to do this thing, and so we have another thing where we have so I can abort. I can abort this stuff. Cool. So yeah, the time has come to upgrade the aids. So let's go and just grab some new aids. So what is that? Some sort of a bullshit. Go to the master, fetch the latest shite. Merch. Okay, so that's how many things we already developed so far. Nice. So I'm gonna go to the Zozin something. No, this is not what I wanted. So it's Zozin something, and let's actually copy paste this thing here. And what do we have? We have a new version. I think I copy pasted it in the wrong place. Yeah, I should have copy pasted it in SRC. So I'm gonna do it like that. So I'm copy pasting it here, replacing it here, and how many changes we did not remove that. Okay, so upgrading from 21 to 34.1, and this is how many things we introduced so far. This is a lot of things. This is a lot of different things. Yeah. Oh, we didn't even have support for UTF encoding and shit. That's a lot of stuff. Holy fuck. Alright, so I just introduced this thing and see if it doesn't break the compilation. It's not supposed to break the compilation because we are upgrading the minor version. And if you're upgrading the minor version, the compilation shouldn't break. Okay, so let's try to do this like so. And yes, the compilation didn't break. The compilation didn't break. How about that? How about that? Where can... first I want to actually create a separate branch for what I'm doing. Separate branch for what I'm doing. So, what exactly we're doing? Does anyone remember what the fuck we're doing? Does anyone remember? Oh, yeah. I wanted to... This is literally definition of yak shaving. Holy shit. I wanted to introduce the death limit for Y, right? So when the entity dies before, like after falling below a certain level of Y, and to inspect and speed up the development, I wanted to implement a command that prints the state of the entity, just to confirm that the entity has died. Alright, and while implementing that command, I needed to upgrade the aids, and because I didn't have like convenient functions in aids, and I wanted to also add another convenient function to aids. Like, this is literally yak shaving. Holy shit. Fuck. It's pretty funny. Anyway, maybe somebody has anybody have any questions? So while I'm making a cup of tea, I also want to make a cup of tea before I continue my yak shaving. What's yak shaving? I just explained it. Believe it or not, I just literally explained it what it means. You can also Google it up, but it's an English idiom and it means exactly what I just explained. You got the yak? Yes. Okay. Yak shaving is when you shave a yak. Yes, exactly. That's exactly how it goes. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, I see a question. You got a yak? No, I think, or yes, I don't remember. Did I answer that question? I feel like I answered that question. Does anyone have any question while I'm, you know, adding teas to my vessel? Not so good in English to know idioms as well. Oh, okay, it's understandable. What's your game? It's a platformer and shooter. Bullshit. My toys are going off. The hell? Oh. Okay. So the Russian Ministry of Emergency is still like sending a notification again about the weather in Novosibirsk, right? Because right now it is like abnormally cold in Siberia. I mean, it's supposed to be cold in Siberia, but today it's especially cold. Weather Novosibirsk. Minus 39. I mean, it was like I think it was minus 45 during the night. I think like around 45. It was pretty cold. So yeah. Yeah, minus 39 is actually it's becoming warmer. So I think it's becoming warmer. Do you live in Siberia? Yes, I literally live in Siberia. So it's not a meme, not a joke. Like I literally live in a region of Eurasia that is called Siberia, like a very specific region. Did you have minus 40 during previous winter? I don't remember. I didn't think in the previous winter we had anything below minus 30. I think minus 30 was like the coldest we had. Minus 40 is actually too much, in my opinion. Is it okay if I copy bits of your code? Well, do you know any open source licenses? So along with my code, there is also a license that explains what you can do with the code. Yeah, literally there's like a file, license. Open that file, and in this particular section, like actually read all of these 3 sections, and this is what you can do with the code. All right, so I'm gonna go to the kitchen and quickly warm us some water, and I'm gonna be back. So I'm gonna be super quick. Don't go anywhere, or I'll ban you. If you go anywhere, if you even close the tab of the stream, you're insta-ban. Okay? Don't close the tab. All right. So yeah. He's good. Yeah, I need to Google the solution. Fucking coming. Okay, how's it going? How is it going? How is it going? So let's continue. What I was doing? I was making tea. That's right. I also was upgrading aids, and I think I successfully upgraded aids, but I didn't commit it. And the reason why I didn't commit it is because I didn't have a separate branch. And why don't I have a separate branch? Because I didn't remember what I was doing. But I do remember what I was doing. I was doing the death limit. Yes, so this is literally how we're gonna call the branch. Death limit. Oh shit, this is not how we create a branch. Death limit. So yeah, after like falling below a certain limit, you're gonna die. Okay, so let's upgrade the aids. So upgrade aids from the version 0.21.0 to 0.34.1, and I'm gonna push that right into the repo. Right into the repo. Okay. So then I'm gonna go back to the entities, and now I should be able to introduce this unreachable thingy. Right, so here's the unreachable thingy. Is 837 not going? Yes, sure. All of the releases that end with 7 are not existing ones. So there we go. Now we have an unreachable statement, just like in Rust. But I'm not even sure. Can you parameterize unreachable with a message? Rust unreachable. I understand that. Okay, so I'm not sure. Oh, you guys just talking about something. So can you parameterize it? I think you can. But okay, compiler error if commented out. Huh. But it feels like it accepts, right? So it accepts expressions, right? It accepts format, it's message, format, and arguments. Okay, so it can be parameterized. All right, so it is as powerful as ours. But this is not enough, by the way. Unreachable, just panic unreachable. Oh, I mean, in our case, it's the same, actually. Pretty much. Maybe I'm gonna remove state of the execution, because it's too much to read. It's just unreachable, and here you have a panic. We might as well also introduce to do, right? Just the same bullshit that we have in Rust. Why not? I kind of like that. So it's gonna be panic, to do, and args like this. There we go. Why not add unreachable to 8? We're gonna add it to 8, believe it or not. We're gonna add it to 8. But before I add unreachable to 8, I want to actually mark it with a special attribute. It's actually quite important. So the attribute is no exit. So something about, I think it was for panic. Yeah, no return. You see? No return. Essentially, it helps the compiler to analyze whether you need to put a return for a function that uses this function or not. Right. For example, you have a function that returns an integer, and if you forget to return an integer, compiler under certain circumstances will complain about that. But if you call a function with no return, it won't complain about that, because it can analyze the control flow and see, okay, the execution will stop at this function, right? So there's no need to even return anything afterwards. So, and yeah, so this is essentially the attribute that we need to have here. And how do I even add it? I think I just add it here, and I think it also makes sense to add this thing here, so you'd never return from these functions. No joking, it's literally defined like that in Rust. I mean, it makes sense, I suppose. How else would you define it? I mean, you can implement it from scratch, but that would be not very dry. Right, so unreachable is just panic. Okay, makes sense. Just makes sense. Can you Rust do that? I thought it could. Can it not? Rust no return attribute. Never. Something about return? What about never? Primitive type never represents a type of computation which never resolves to any value. Huh. It's a nightly API. Very interesting. No link. Okay, that sounds interesting, but I think we're gonna learn that a little bit later. So today is a C++ stream anyway. Alright, let's add all of that to aids. I want to have these things in aids. So we're gonna put them like closer to the panic, and yep, we're gonna put it like that. There we go. So I think my tea is ready. So I'm gonna go to the kitchen and pour some water. And again, don't go anywhere or you're gonna get banned instantly. Trust me, I know everyone who is my chat. I know everyone. What's up? Okay, let's continue, chat. Let's continue. I finally have my tea, so we just need to steep it for a couple of minutes, and we're gonna be good to go. Hopefully. Can we use Boomer for Windows? I don't know. Can you? All right. So let me see. It seems to be compiling, and do you have ice in your boiled water? No, I don't have ice there. So, okay. Let's make another release of AIDS. So what we did here is we added unreachable and to do. So, and this is going to be 0.35 release of 8. So this is going to be unreachable, right? And another one is going to be void to do. So let's actually properly release them. And yeah, also we have to do something like this. Let's go. So it's Rexim AIDS, and I'm gonna copy paste AIDS back to the original repo. Looks good to me. Let's double check all of the examples. So it's gonna be make minus B. Okay, examples seems to be compiling, and let's take a look at the tests. So if I try to run the tests are still passing, so we didn't break anything. So we're ready for yet another epic release of AIDS. And for those who doesn't know, AIDS is my replacement for STD. You can find it here. All right, so let's go 0.35 0 release and changelog. Let's take a look at the changelog. So this is what we're gonna have here. And I'm pushing that right into the repo, so the new version of AIDS is available. Go and upgrade. Holy shit.
Иван Тестедрост 69420.
Thank you so much for 4 months of Twitch Prime subscription. Thank you, and welcome to our epic C++ game development club. How about that? Bet you didn't expect that? Okay, I think we're ready for a little bit of a TSMR. Just the last bit of tea. And we are ready. So we upgraded AIDS, I think. What else do we need? Oh yeah, we need to inspect the state and shit. Yeah, I do remember that. So how are we gonna do that? So we have a command. I think, yeah, a command already compiled, so command should already be working. Okay, so that makes sense. Let's go back to the game development. So it's gonna be command Okay, and it's gonna be something like this: console print ln, and I'm gonna do something like entity, and we're gonna print the index of the entity. It's gonna be entity index unwrap, right? Entity index unwrap, and we're printing its state. And maybe it makes sense to pad a little bit. So it's gonna be something like state, and yeah, we should be able to see the state. We should be able to see the state, and let me see if we can recompile stuff. Let me see if we can recompile stuff. It doesn't compile. Because why? Panic was not declared in the scope. I think I fucked up. I think I fucked up. So another non-existent release question mark? Another non-existent release question mark? Because holy shit. Okay, so so dumb actually. Essentially, it's not gonna fail. It's not gonna fail if you don't use these functions. It's only gonna fail if you use these functions. And okay, I didn't check for that. But I think okay, we're not gonna, you know, remove that release from the existence. We're not gonna remove that release from the existence. What we're gonna do instead, right? We're gonna do a pro game remove. So your code that uses, for example, this version, if you upgrade it to this, it's still gonna work. So we're gonna fix this problem in 35.1, and if you upgrade it to that one, it's still gonna work. So right now, if you are on 35, you just cannot use these functions. So you end up with the code that just doesn't use those functions. So that means it's still compiling, and it will still compile if you upgrade to 0.35.1. Okay, that actually makes a lot of sense, and this is like a patch release. Alright, this is actually perfect. It lines up perfectly with my version. So we don't even need to remove that release from the existence. That's the cool part about it. We don't even need to release. Yeah, you can depend. You can depend on 35, by the way. Sure. And it's still gonna work. That's the point. That's the point. We're not gonna remove that release. It's actually perfect. So essentially, you already have a code that will compile with 35. And you just cannot use those functions, so you never use them, so there's nothing broken actually. There's nothing broken, it's perfect. Okay, so let's go back and let's go to AIDS. And essentially the fix is going to be super simple. But depend on that behavior for a critical part of my software, and that is going to break it. You cannot depend on it because your program won't compile. You cannot depend on that behavior because your literally program won't compile. So you cannot physically depend on it. So it's impossible. It depends that it doesn't compile. Yeah, sure. Okay. But I forward declared panic. So that means your code is still not gonna break if you upgrade to 35.1. Yes, if you forward declare the panic, your code will compile. You will still be able to upgrade to 35.1 without breaking anything. You cannot win this, chat. You cannot win it. It's perfect. You cannot win it. Because I thought about everything. You said that I'm not supposed to use 0.27. Yes, I was thinking about it and finally decided to start second enterprise level. Yeah, sure, you can do that. Sure. Reads with unreachable code to do. I found out that that doesn't work. I think I'll remain on 27. You can just forward declare them. So, alright, workarounds, Pepeg. Okay. Wait. Oh shit. Oh fuck. I think I did a fucky wacky, chat. I think I did a fucky wacky. I upgraded to 0.35, but I forgot to commit it and started to modify 0.30. Okay, whatever. Developing software is hard, okay? Developing software is hard. What do you want from me? So upgrade AIDS 0.34.1 0.35.0, and then I go back to, and again I'm gonna confirm that it doesn't compile. I'm gonna confirm that you see it doesn't compile, and we're gonna try to fix it right in the production. We're fixing it right in the production. So we're just taking the panic. What the fuck? I need to refresh this file. Can I reverse the buffer, please? Thank you. Holy shit. Okay. Emacs sometimes is so stubborn. It's really difficult to work with Emacs. But it's awesome. Why don't you use Vim? I'm sorry. Why am I talking to myself? To be fair, every day I'm talking to my screen for 4 hours. For almost 5 years already. It's pretty sad. Maybe you all, by the way, don't even exist. Maybe I actually, you know, it's just, you know, my imagination made you up. Who knows? So, and I'm sitting here alone, talking to nobody. At least I have a tea. At least I have a tea, which is kind of cool. All right. So here's the fix. Here's the fix, and let's see. So we're gonna have a new version 0.35.1, 0.35.1, and 0.35, and it's gonna be fix compilation when using to do and unreachable. So that's gonna be the thing that we fixed here. No, it actually happened. It actually happened. This one actually happened. Everything's okay. I thought about that one. Let's go back to AIDS. Let's go back to AIDS. And I'm gonna copy paste AIDS here. Working releases. This is not a broken release. Everything's okay, chat. Okay, so 0.35.1 release. Yes, this is how I'm gonna spell release. I'm just joking. Is this how I spell it? Release. Yeah, there we go. Fix compilation. I can show you build log that proves it is broken. Alright. I'm gonna push that right into the repo. Okay, the new version of AIDS is already released. Go get it and fix your build. All your builds are fixed now. Okay? So just grab the new version. No workarounds. Just grab the new version and everything's gonna be okay, chat. Okay? So, AIDS is a reliable and stable project you can depend on. Okay? It's been proven by time and experience. Alright? Anyways, let's continue. What were we doing? Oh, we're doing commands. Okay. So everything looks okay now, and now I'm gonna do upgrade AIDS 0.35 to 0.35.1. Alright, I'm gonna push that right into the repo. So let's take a look at the log. Look at this log, by the way. Upgrade AIDS from that to that, then to that to that, and I upgrade AIDS 3 times. Professional software developer, by the way. This is an enterprise experience. Enterprise experience. Yeah, we were shaving the yak. That's what we're doing. But luckily, now we finally have a working command. A working command. So if I run the game, and let's take a look at the commands. We have a command, inspect entity. That's what I was trying to do all along. And I think I can even look at that. I can autocomplete. Yes, I can autocomplete. If I run it, it says expect a number entity but got this shit. I can say something, inspect entity your mom, yeah, expected number but got your. So, and if I provide like 1, the state is dead. Entity at index 1 is dead. But as far as I know, there is nothing at index 1. The player is at index 0. And as you can see, the player state is alive. Right, the player state is alive. So, and this is exactly the command that I want you to check, right? I want you to implement. So, another things we can implement here is probably, I don't know, the position, for example, right? So, what is the other thing we can have? Entity HPP. So, entity does have a position and does have a velocity and shit like that. So we're only gonna include things that are interesting for us. Console print and position, right? Position, something like this, and I can even align everything properly, and it's gonna be entity pose. But it's not gonna compile because we don't have a printer for vectors. I think we don't have a printer for vectors. Yeah, we do not have it. We do not. But maybe I can quickly implement one. sprint1 is gonna accept string buffer, a pointer to the string buffer, and a vector, I think 2f, right? Maybe we can even make it a template, right? We can even make it a template, t, and it's gonna be a vector 2 of c, and t has to be also printable, right? And we're gonna put it like that. So we're gonna do sprint1 buffer this vx like this, vy like this, and there we go. That thing should be printable now, hopefully. We'll see. It still doesn't compile. I wonder why. Because no matching function to call string buffer. Oh, it has to be, yeah, it has to be just sprint. Yeah. It has to be just sprint. And now, if I rerun this game, and I inspect an entity 0, I also know its position. How about that? I also know its position. I think it's pretty cool. Thank you. All right, let's continue. Yeah, what I was doing this kind of stuff. So, but the problem is that I want to inspect all of that for the enemies as well. But we don't really know how many enemies we have and what their IDs are, right? So, what would be cool, maybe, is to be able to click on enemies and just get their IDs. And yeah, that could be another thing. We could introduce another command. And this game looks so neat. Thank you. I don't know, like it's not the final look and feel of the game, so maybe the final game is not gonna look as neat as you think. We'll see about that. We'll see about that. So inspect an entity, and maybe I want to introduce a command that gives me the list of entities. ls entities, right? So list all alive entities, right? And I want to see their IDs, so I'm gonna do ls entities. That gives me the list of the IDs of the entities, and then I should be able to inspect a particular entity and stuff like that. SV. All right, so command ls entities. Then I'm gonna copy paste this thing. It's 12. Like this, ls entities. Accept the game, and we also accept the arguments. We're not gonna really use any arguments. Maybe I'm gonna just have. Yeah, I have an idea. Let's introduce command ls. Yes, list objects. List objects. So it's going to be just ls. So the point here, if you want to do, if you want to check all of the entities, you can do ls entities, right? So that's going to be the command that you can put in there. If you want to see something else, like for example, ls projectiles, right? You'll be able to do it like that, right? So it's going to be like a single command, and it's going to dispatch to different things depending on what you need. Yeah. So, and I think it would be better to implement something like that instead. So, to be a little bit more generic in that sense. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Okay, so it's gonna be auto argument args chop word. Right, I'm gonna do a chop word. Projectile.l support when. Maybe we'll support that. I never tried projectile.l. Is it good? Have you tried it? So we cannot switch on that thing, so we'll have to do something like entities SV. So if it's entities SV, we'll have to do something else, I think. If it's not entities SV, so we'll have to throw an error. Console print ln error expected entities. But got, and we can print that argument. We can print that argument. There we go. If it's entities, what we have to do here, we have to iterate through all of the entities in the game, and just print the IDs of the alive ones. Yep. Okay, cool. So size T0 less than entities capacity, I think. Oh my god, it's so bad. Entities cap was it capacity or count? I legit don't remember. I have to go to the game. Entities count, it's called entity counts. How come you don't like having your haircut at barber? What kind of question is that? Holy shit. Who asks questions like that in a civilized world? Alright, so yeah, and we need to check if the state is alive. Entities and if the state is entities state alive, maybe not dead. Let's actually do not dead, because alive and dead are not the only entities that you can have. You can also have like a poof, like intermediate one. So, and let's do game console print ln entity is gonna be ID and game entities. Yeah, we can just do an ID then. Are you angry at me? No, I'm not angry at you. Not angry. Don't worry about it. It's just like, I mean, okay, it's a joke PR, but what do I have to what do I have to do with it? Like, I don't know. I already closed it. Well, yeah, thank you. I guess. Thank you. I'm not angry. Don't worry about it. Alrighty, and let's see what we're gonna have here. It's gonna be ls and expected entities, but got that entities. So you have only one single entity, right? You have only one single entity, but if you add another one, if you try to do ls entities, there we go. You have two entities now. And if we're gonna have a lot of them, you can inspect them. So it's a 0, 1, 2, 3, 5, and then you can do inspect entity, and you can look at the first one, right? So here's their position, that one, that one. You can actually inspect the ones that don't exist, but the ones that don't exist are gonna be dead. So, and let's see. I think insulting is kind of like against TOS, so the only thing I have here is to time you out for 1 hour. So yeah, so we do not approve of insulting, okay? So another insult and you're permabanned. So it's a violation of TOS. Alright. Let's already did that. Don't violate TOS, chat, okay? Don't violate it. And I think you are able to, yeah, you're able to actually crash the game, which is kind of important to handle, All right, so what do we have? So here's the value and stuff like that. And the thing we can do here, we can, yeah, we need to check if it's like less than entity count. Yeah, so it has a value, and this entire thing is entity count. Cool. So expected number entity index from 0 up until, I suppose, entity index -1, and it's actually a pretty long message, so I'm not sure if we'll be able to. Yeah, maybe we can split it up like this. Yeah, expected a number entity index from that to that, but it got that. Do buildings in Novosibirsk have a basement, or due to extreme cold during the winter time, the structural scheme prohibits such amenities? We do have basements usually in the buildings, but they're not usually accessible. It's a really strange question. All right, so entities count. All right, so, and this is entities count. Strange but good question, I guess. I know nothing about buildings though, so I don't think I'm the right person to ask these kind of questions. So, and then you can inspect entity, and if I provide like a huge value here, it's not that. So it would be also kind of cool if during the rendering this thing was wrapping around. But it doesn't really wrap around, so we literally have to just reduce this thing and use it like that. But 50 is going to be that. and then it's gonna be 0, 1, 2, 0. Yeah. So now we can actually start falling, and while we're falling, we can constantly check out the state of the entity. As you can see, it's keep falling, and it's keep falling really rapidly, to be fair. As you can see, it's keep falling really rapidly, and it's still alive. Look at that, it is still alive. And this is exactly why I'm developing this tool, so I can see whether it's alive or not, and at any point I can reset. Yeah. So, and yeah, essentially we're gonna have a check. We're gonna have a check that if you fall below a certain Y, we're just gonna kill you. So any entity that falls below that, insta-death. And now we even have like a pretty good tools to verify that this is exactly what's gonna happen, right? And yeah, so what I'm gonna do here essentially is to implement like commit these two commands, right? So implement ls and inspect entities, inspect entity, I think, command. There we go. And I'm gonna push that right into the repo. Good, I have a dizzy now. You're welcome, I suppose. So, let's continue. Let's continue. So where are we going to put that check, by the way? Where are we going to put that check? So we need to open game CPP. We need to open game CPP, and let me see. So I think we're going to do that in updates. All right. So here's the enemy AI. Update all entities. Just update all entities. Then we update projectiles and so on and so forth. And we'll also check that the entity has jumped and whatnot, and yeah. All right, so maybe this is where we're gonna check for being below a certain like death limit. So entities I position Y is greater world death limit, right? And in that case, we just simply do entities I kill. Right, so that should be it. But it's not going to compile because we don't have world death limit. So we need to go to vars. Let's put it like that. Vars conf, and we're going to put it. I don't even know where I'm going to put it. I'm going to put it here. So what's going to be the size of that death limit? So let's put it to 10,000. I think 10,000 should be okay. I think it should be all right. It should be okay. It should be all right. It doesn't have a kill. Huh. Is it because it's the game's responsibility to kill? Yeah. Okay. So it's the game's responsibility to kill. Kill entity. You provide the pointer to the entity, and the reason why we do that because we need to drop the items to kill. Okay, I see. That's really interesting. So you switch the state to poof, and then you drop all of the items. Okay, so, and that's exactly what we can do. Kill entity, and we take a pointer to the entities, and we can just kill it like that. So that should compile now. Sometimes, like, it's game's responsibility to do something with the object rather than the object's responsibility. Right, so, and yeah, now, we can inspect an entity 0, right? So, and let's go try to die. So we're approaching like 10, and at some point we actually died, but as you can see, I think we still have some things there, which is, yeah, which means that we need to do the following thing. I'm gonna go to vars and I'm gonna increase it to 20, right? And I'm gonna try to fall down. Okay. And it's dead, and it's actually dead at this particular point. Right. Maybe, I don't know. It feels like 100,000 would be alright. 100,000. Let's check it out. So 100,000, and it's around that time should be okay. So we can also test how it's gonna work on enemies, right? So if I try to do something like less entities, so here's the entity 1, and I can inspect entity 1. So here is the state of the entity 1, and I'm gonna try to push this thing. And I'm gonna keep checking, and this is the entity 1 fallen. It's still alive, it's approaching its death limit, but it's still, and it's at some particular point it's dead. So I really wanted to have this death limit in case like some entities fall down and they're gonna just keep accelerating forever. And now they are actually dead, and we can easily check all of that because we have inspection commands and whatnot. So yeah, I guess I achieved what I wanted to achieve here. I think the goal has been achieved. The goal has been achieved, and let me see if we can commit anything. Yeah, look good. And world death limit is a variable. A world death limit is a variable that you can modify at any time, and that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. All right. Introduce a world death limit, and we're gonna push that right into the. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? The first pull request of the stream. Cyberpunk 2077 really needs this feature. Really? They don't have a limit like for the void? They don't have a void limit or something like that? So we can actually fall into the void forever. Do I understand that correctly? It's really strange. I thought like every game implements that just in case. It kind of makes sense. I never played Cyberpunk 2077. Dennis, what the hell is going on? Hello. Thank you for 5 tier 1 subs. Thank you for supporting our community, and everyone who got this up. Yeah, welcome to our epic game development community. How about that? We're developing a game. Here's how the game looks like. So you can jump, you can do pew pew pew. And yeah, we were implementing the death limit. By death limit, I mean if you inspect the position of the player, right, here's the position of the player in the world. If it drops below a certain threshold, it automatically dies, just in case. It's just like a global death limit for entities that accidentally fall out of the world or something like that. I'm here to see libSDL. So, what's that? Let me see, what's that? Okay. So, yeah, my laptop is actually a little bit slow when I'm streaming, so it actually takes some time for me to open Twitch.
Service announcement. From time to time, chances are that I may utter, express, or otherwise verbalize, possibly display, or possibly enter into discussions, diatribe, monologue, or even a soliloquy about topics which may be considered offensive, questionable, possibly socially reprehensible to a number of people. I'd like to take this moment to
and this is why, by the way, we marked this stream as for mature audience. That's why.
Express a public service announcement that lets you know that that shit's going to happen, and I'm not going to edit. And other than the occasional random tit, which I apologize for, my opinions are my own. Thank you.
Thank you.
Public service announcement.
Thank you. That's a beautiful announcement. Thank you so much. Sounds very serious. And yet again, thank you so much for five subscriptions. All right. So let's continue. It was so drunk on Christmas. I mean, it's Christmas. I mean, you gotta celebrate Christmas. Yeah, that's actually pretty cool to say. Thank you for sharing. No, yeah, thank you. Actually, like I've been like that for I think already 3 weeks or so. Yeah, and also it feels great. It actually feels great. I absolutely love it. A little bit cold. You know, I live in Siberia, in the middle of Siberian forest, in Novosibirsk, the capital of Siberia. And right now we have a pretty like abnormally cold weather for some reason. I don't know why. Novosibirsk. So if you take a look, yeah, it's minus 39. It was actually minus 45 at night. We usually it's pretty normal, like in January, I think, but at this particular time, it's really abnormal. All right. So, and it was so weird. Even the the Ministry of Emergency in Russia is concerned, and it actually sends out notifications to like everyone in Novosibirsk saying like be careful because like it's really abnormal cold weather right now. Something is wrong. There's a big snow, but not really cold. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's like living in Siberia. I noticed interesting correlation is that if there is like a really heavy snow, it's usually not that cold. Right. When it's super cold, there is usually no snow at all, but there is like some sort of like frost fog or something like that. Yeah, the snow is never that cold. It's kind of interesting. Maybe it's like when the weather changes and it becomes warmer, there's some sort of condensation process going on that makes the snow fall, and that's why when the snow falling, it's not that cold or something. So. All right, let's continue. Let's continue. What were we doing? Yeah, we were doing this kind of thing, and I think I'm ready to make a pull request to my own repo. Oh, we have also other pull requests. So yeah, people were submitting pull requests to something. I actually wanted to review them. Yeah, this is probably what we're gonna do right now. We're gonna review some pull requests that people submitted to the game. Yeah. So introduce world death limit. So this is gonna be our first pull request of the stream. And it's failing. Would you look at that? I already broke stuff. Of course, I broke something on Windows because we have a continuous integration process that tries to build the game on the 3 major platforms, Linux, Windows, and Mac OS. Also on FreeBSD, by the way. I think we do. Yeah, we do even have a FreeBSD build, believe it or not. Like 4 major platforms. Okay, 4 major platforms. So we build it on Linux, Mac OS, Microsoft, and FreeBSD. Yeah. So, and usually everything's okay on all of the platforms except Windows. So let's see what happened with Windows. What about OpenBSD? Well, if you submit a support for OpenBSD on CI, we're gonna have it. How about that? So there's a warning here, conversion from int to integer, signed unsigned. Oh boy. Okay, it's something within 8. All right. So, and then it's also something within C reference to template function. Is it? All right. MSVC. So it's gonna be somewhere in the commands. And we had the 189, and this is why it was kind of failing. Can you GitHub do that? Well, GitHub cannot even do FreeBSD. Do you know how FreeBSD build is working on GitHub Actions? Do you want to know how it's working there? Well, if I remember correctly, let me see. So setting up the job, virtual environment, I think it's literally starting up like a virtual box, if I remember correctly. But yeah. Yeah, but I don't remember. Build on FreeBSD. I can't find it, like getting git version info, initializing the repo. Yeah, so essentially it's supposed to be using VirtualBox somewhere at some point. It uses environment macOS though, so it's building on macOS, but then it's somewhere using VirtualBox. So, and with that technique, technically you should also have a Plan 9 support, so I guess yes. It's in the build section. Oh, okay. So let's actually find out. Is that what it is? FreeBSD? Oh yeah, there we go. VBox manage. Okay. Yeah, there we go. VirtualBox. Oh, VMware. Huh. Ah, nice one. By the way, this is why it takes like. Well, it's actually pretty fast. 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Alright, I remember Dennis was doing something. First nice snow. 1 minute. Okay, let's take a look at the first snow in Canada, I suppose. Let's take a look at the first snow. I presume in Canada. I don't know, maybe Dennis right now is somewhere else. Nice.
Well, Canada. Yeah, recycling bins, I know. I gotta bring them in. Good step.
Looks almost like Siberia, to be fair.
Into the snow.
Except the houses are nicer, so.
Step into the snow. Oh, I lost my feet.
Oh, don't show feet on Twitch. Don't show feet on Twitch. No, we cannot show that. I'm sorry. It's against US. It's against US. It's a sexual content. We cannot show that. I'm not even joking, by the way. It's kind of like a gray area on Twitch. I'm not 100% sure, but I remember some people were banned for that, and it was classified as a sexual. It's so weird. So you have to be super careful with that. It's just holy shit. But it's actually pretty nice. Looks very nice. Maybe at some point, I should probably make the photos or videos of the outside in Akademgorодок Novosibirsk. There are some actually nice places here, but you have to actually walk there. Do it. Yeah, maybe at some point I'm gonna do that. Rel stream. Rel stream doesn't sound that bad. But I need to go to another half. I need to go to another half of the Akademgorодок where people are okay with me going around publicly speaking English. So I'm living in Akademgorодок. Yes, I'm living there. I'm in Akademgorодок right now, I suppose. Do they don't like English there? It just looks weird. I don't know, I've never done any IRL stuff, so it's really weird for me. I don't know English. Akademgorодок is such a Soviet name. Because it is actually, yeah, the name was established at Soviet times. And yeah. Okay, so what are we doing here? Music is gone. Oh yeah, music is gone, by the way, so let's actually enable music yet again. Were you bald all along? Yes, under my hair I was bald all along, just like everyone. They really like the German way of just stringing words together. Yeah. It's a really German way of doing that. What the fuck, really? Yes. Cold these times of the year. Yeah. It's actually kind of cool. So what are we doing? Oh yeah, I was trying to fix the Windows build. I think I was trying to build the Windows build to fix the Windows build. Equal conversion from int to integer. Int to integer. This is really strange. Because I was trying to do like size, and at which point it was happening? It was around 189. So this is where it was happening, and I'm not sure. And I think it fails somewhere in AIDS again. Is AIDS failing yet again? Oh yeah, I see. You cannot use unsigned integers. This has to be specifically signed integer, unfortunately. Yeah. This has to be specifically signed integer, and I think we're gonna do something like long int, and that means we'll also have to check that entity index unwrap is also, you know, 0 equal to that. No, AIDS is okay this time. AIDS is okay, so calm down, chat. Everything's okay. AIDS is a mature, stable project you can rely on. It's a mature, stable project. You can really rely on it. Don't worry about it. Did I fuck it up again? I think I fucked it up again, yes. Okay, good. So that should be working. Hopefully. Let's try to recompile that. Comparison of an integer. Okay, so if I try to do static cast on long int, this is not how you spell long int. I think this is not how we do that. And now it works. Now it works. I'll show you my long int. Please no harassment. What, Gavolo, why are you harassing me with your integers? Stop, please. Anyways, maybe after the stream. DM me after the stream. All right, so let's try to compile that. Try to fix MSVC build, and let's push that right into the repo. Okay, hopefully that will fix everything. So we're just waiting for the continuous integration to kick in. It's a little bit cold in here. Maybe I need more tea. Morty. We're waiting for FreeBSD build, yeah. Well, a FreeBSD build took like 4 minutes, which is not that bad. My old Haskell build on Travis, without any virtualization, took 10 minutes. Yes. Do you watch anime? I tried, but it's just not my thing, unfortunately. I genuinely try to start watching anime, it's just... Can't do that. To be fair, like, I generally don't like to watch any movies or shows. It's not limited to anime specifically. It's like I cannot focus for a long time and watch something. It's just something with my brain. So. What do you think about NixOS? Well, I don't think about it, and that's why I sleep so well. I really recommend it, by the way. Really recommend not to think about NixOS. Just don't think about it. Super great. Absolutely beautiful. I really like operating systems about which you the operating system which you don't have to think about. English is hard, by the way, especially, you know, structuring the sentence. I'm watching an anime right now titled Tsoding. Well, people keep calling me Sundari, so maybe it is an anime. Who knows? Yeah, we're waiting for Freebies team now. Good time. What about the movie about operating systems? What about it? What do you want to know about it? Okay, let's make a cup of tea. Sundari, yeah, very funny. I'm making a cup of tea. While I'm making a cup of tea, maybe, you know, questions? Something? Any other questions? Maybe? Senpai. To be fair, like, it's kind of difficult for me to entertain myself these days. Like, there's nothing that entertains me anymore. Shows don't entertain me anymore. Games don't entertain me anymore. I don't know, programming still entertains me. Like, doing some programming stuff is actually quite fun still. But apart from that, what about books? I haven't tried books for a while, actually. Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna try to read a book or something. Maybe they will entertain me. Oh, Cerimon, welcome. How are you doing? Really glad to see you. Do you still have fun with music? To be fair, like, I don't have any MIDI keyboards yet, so... But I do plan to buy a new MIDI keyboard. Once I have it, I might start to do something with music again. Alright, so... okay, I'm gonna go quickly to the kitchen and turn on my kettle. Don't go anywhere, or as usual, you can be banned. What did you do with the old one? It actually broke. Like, the keys started to fall off. And it was actually pretty good MIDI keyboard. It was a Novation launch key. The one that I was actually always showing on my streams. I don't know if you watched me back then, but it was that one. It was actually pretty good. Oh, they already changed it. They already changed the design. I think it was like this one or something. But yeah, I played too hard. Like I think I was just practicing for too long, and to the point that the keys started to fall off, and there was nothing I could do about that. So I'm thinking to buy another one yet again. Too long. Zoomer technology. Yeah. Alright, so it looks like we managed to fix the Windows build, which is cool. I'm gonna go to the kitchen, right? I'm gonna go to the kitchen and turn on the kettle. Don't go anywhere. I'll see everyone from my kitchen. I can see everyone. Were you practicing for some industrial metal MIDI music? No, I was just practicing for myself. Because somehow practicing entertains me. I don't know how. What's up, epic game developers? Big Zozin is watching us, yes. You could wear a hat, maybe to appear more like a hipster, to hide your boldness. Why would I hide my boldness? Why? I mean, to be fair, right now it's a little bit cold, so I was actually wearing this during the day, so might as well actually wear it like that. So, do I look better now? I don't know. Get this one. Is that a... Yeah, let me take a look. Oh shit. No, this is just too expensive for me, I'm sorry. This is really too expensive. To be fair, you know what I wanted to have? I wanted to have OP1, a synth. You know this small thingy. But it's expensive as fuck, holy shit. But it's so cool at the same time. It's like it's a self-contained thing that can literally do everything. And I think this one is like literally like $100 or something. It's so fucking expensive, but it's so cool at the same time. Yeah. So let's take a look at the price. So on Amazon, how much does it cost on Amazon? Yeah, so it's even more than $1,000. Holy shit! And it's very small actually. You can find the videos of this thing on YouTube. And it's extremely small, and you would never guess that this small thing would cost that much. But it costs that much because it's really well engineered, and it's completely self-contained. You don't need to have a computer or anything. You can make a music right on that thing and store the music right on that thing. So there were like artists that made the entire albums on that small little thing while traveling or something. So yeah. But it's too fucking expensive. Like, unless you're doing that professionally, I don't think it's worth paying that much. Experimental hybrid synth. This company looks interesting. I think I'm gonna send that company to myself. Thank you. Thank you, man. There's also Korg. I had like Korg. I think what they call it, like chaos pads. Yes, you can find them. Oh, this looks cool. All right, I'm gonna look into all of this. Thank you for suggestions. Thank you everyone for suggestions. It's super cool. Yeah. All right. It's really warm. I kind of like it. I kind of like how warm it is. You want to spend 1K on a computer and 30 on the synths when you can just on the synths. Yeah, so this is actually a good point. This is why I said why it only makes sense if you actually make music professionally, right? And if you like making music professionally and you travel a lot, it kind of makes sense to have this like, small compact thing to make music while you're traveling. So I especially like the fact that it's also a radio. So I really like that trick that you can turn on the radio and you can sample the live radio into that device and use these samples to make music. This is such a cool idea. Like, this thing by itself is a radio and you can sample that radio and do things with it. It's so fucking awesome. Holy shit. And it has so many fucking features. Yeah. Their website makes me feel old. What's about their website? I also have a dark reader, so I don't think it's. What is this MongoDB shit? Excuse me. Kind of nice website, not gonna lie. Maybe this is because I'm old. I don't know. Everything is so big. Oh yeah, the modern trend of the website. Yeah. So websites in the past, they were actually just, you know, HTML pages, but now everything has to be like sort of a banner. Yeah. Every single website in 2020 is just fucking banner. I see what you mean. All right, so I think we're ready to merge this stuff. Can FL Studio do things similar to that? Probably. I never tried FL Studio. Alright, so we're gonna delete all of that. Oh, and by the way, I think my tea is ready, so I'm gonna just go and brew up some tea, and I'm gonna get back. We need an app to calculate Sojing's break per stream. Sure, go ahead and write it. Clearly not a girl. Oh, hello, Sojing2S. Welcome. Day 26 looks weird. Yeah, I agree with you. So, by the way, I'm planning to allocate a slot for Advent of Code archives. So essentially, I think on Thursday we just gonna go back in time and start solving like Advent of Code 2015. For example, for 2015, I want to make a challenge that I'm gonna use only Haskell for all of the problems. No matter what kind of problem it is, maybe the problem is going to be like very stateful and you will need to allocate the memory and modify arrays. Doesn't matter, it has to be done in Haskell. So yeah. And once we're done with Advent of Codes at some point, maybe we can start solving problems for code forces or something, or maybe, I don't know, we'll see. Still no Zik. Well, it is what it is. Sorry, and it isn't what it isn't. Okay, so I think we're ready to take a look at the pull requests. So people were submitting pull requests, and let me take a look. I assume assembly got, how much of the headache was that? Well, it wasn't that much of a headache, to be fair. It wasn't that much of a headache. So the headache in assembly was caused literally by me, because I decided to re-implement like part of the libc C runtime. You know, functions like print, A to I to A, strlen, strchr, and just use these functions to solve the problem, to read from a file. And that was the main headache. So if I didn't do that since the beginning and just hard-coded the numbers of the input as I wanted to do, yeah, which I deleted later, of course, yes, because I just realized how fucking pain in the ass it was that. It wouldn't be that painful. So I don't know why I decided to go that way, but it was completely unnecessary. So in book called Exercise in Programming Style described 33 different styles. What about applying it to AOC? Sounds like a bullshit book, not gonna lie. But I never read it, so maybe I don't know what this book is about. Maybe it's a good book. So yeah, for some reason I wrote a whole bunch of ASM yesterday evening. That was fun. Yeah, assembly is actually super fun, not gonna lie. I really like assembly. No offense, but book with 33 different programming styles literally sounds like some sort of a bullshit. I'm really sorry. No offense. I wouldn't read that such book. It's all right. So, will there be a New Year stream? Sounds like that. Yeah, it sounds like that. Let me do. Okay. I don't know. To be fair. I haven't decided yet, we'll see. New York stream, yeah, there will be New York stream. How about some high-level FPGA programming someday? I don't know. Okay, so speaking of FPGA programming, right? So I need an FPGA, right, to do that. Or I need to rent FPGA somewhere like on Amazon, if I understand correctly. So to do that, I'll need to research how to rent them on Amazon or something. Sounds like too much effort to prepare, to be fair. Let's see. By Amazon, I mean AWS. Wait, well, I heard that AWS provides FPGAs. I heard that they do. For like high performance computations, you can just make your own circuit on it and just compute that. But this is on the level of rumors, okay? So I don't know for sure. Oh, it does. Okay, that's pretty cool. So yeah, I need to research how to use that, and maybe then we can use it. I don't know. Yeah, FPGAs to enable delivery. Yeah, cool. So yeah. Jiang, what's up? What's up? PCB routing is addicting. Yeah, I can see that. What's up, Jiang? How are you doing? So we have some pull requests to go through. So here's the first one. Bug console history up and down lag one step behind. So this is a bug. It's not an issue, right? It is not an issue. It's not a pull request. What the fuck I'm talking about? It's not a pull request. So we can try to reproduce that and maybe we can fix it. So let me go to the master and fetch the other stuff. Bug is not an issue. Very funny. Okay, so merge origin master. And there we go. GNU is not Unix. It's a feature. Yes. Yes. Let's rebuild everything. Something debug. So our console in our game is very advanced. It even supports history, right? If you do shit like this, you will be able to actually go through the history. And what's cool is that, oh my god, clearly not a girl, subscribed with a Prime. Thank you. Thank you so much for Twitch Prime subscription. Yeah, for a subscription, by the way. And welcome to our epic Bold Club. I don't know why I did that. Hello. What's up? What I wanted to do. There's too many things. First of all, I've got a question, then I got a subscription, and I also need to explain the history. Did you have a repo with all the AOC programs? I wanted to see the assembly one. Yes, I do have a repo. So AOC. So you can find this repo here. And we have all of the solutions there. Here they are. 25 different languages, including the ASM one. Furthermore, if you click on any of the language, there's also a link to the screencast where we were solving it. Okay? Alright, that's an insta-ban and perma-ban. There we go. So, yeah, we don't have the screencast for assembly yet. And this is because it was yesterday. I'm uploading the streams on the next day. So today, the screencast for assembly is also going to be available on YouTube. But everything is documented here. We have everything, all of the solutions, all of the screencasts, all of the version of the programs, and all of the expected results. You can literally take this thing and verify it for yourself and see if it actually works. So everything is properly documented and it's there. And there's a screenshot. Here's me. Here's my page. And as you can see, all of the problems are solved. So it is legit. It is legit. Imagine farming GitHub stars. Yeah, that's how you do that, by the way. Documenting your project properly, by the way, increases the amount of stars, because people tend to start things that they understand how it works. Imagine farming any form of internet points, but it's fun, isn't it? It's fun. Okay, so sub is acknowledged, question is answered. Explain the history. Okay, so as you can see, we have a history, right? We have a history. You can go through the history, and here it is. So you can also inspect the history cache, and cool. So the more you put shit there, the more we have history there. I think it's limited. I don't remember what's the capacity of the history, but yeah, you can go up. So far, history is actually quite good. I don't remember it, you know, being bad or anything. So then you can quit the whole game. Okay, so what do we have? Open console. Issue a couple of commands like 1, 2, 3, 4 history, press up 4 times. You should see 2 as expected. Press down, expected behavior should see 3, which was issue for 2. Okay, so let's try to reproduce that. So there's problem with history. 1, 2, 3, 4. History. Up 4 times, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. We are at 2. Cool. Press down. Huh. That was interesting. 3, which was issued for to observe behavior 1, like up was pressed. Then you have to press down again to see 3. Okay, that's a good description. Okay, this is really strange. So I wonder why would that happen. So I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. Off by 1, probably off by 1. Organize history as... So also they submitted a pull request that closes that issue. Okay, so there's a little bit of reorganization of the history. I wonder if it fixes the problem. I wonder if it fixes the problem. Anaboth! Oh my god, Anaboth Usama. Hello, welcome. Welcome to the stream. Anaboth Pog. Okay, so maybe we're gonna try to solve this one, but this one is refactoring of the history, and I wonder if it fixes the problem. As you know, assembly could be that different. I learned MIPS. Interesting. Well, assembly is basically like a human readable representation of instructions that are executed on CPUs, and obviously different architectures and different CPUs have different instructions. So assembly is actually quite different. MIPS. The MIPS that I tried was actually quite pog, I would say. I only wrote Hello World in MIPS, to be fair. I only wrote Hello World in MIPS. I think I already talked about it. I had a router on my previous in my previous apartment that had a MIPS CPU, and what I did essentially, it also has a SSH interface, so you could SSH to the router, and you can also SCP files there. So what I did on Linux, I implemented a Hello World in MIPS. And cross-compiled it, cross-translated it, and uploaded to that router, and I actually verified that it works. And it was quite cool. So yeah, I directly called syscalls from MIPS and stuff like that. It was actually pretty cool, and it was a really interesting. It was a really interesting experience. Is that at user space? Yeah, I think it was at user space. Yeah, because it was like a proper Linux and stuff. I assume doing AOC in MIPS would be super pain. I didn't think it would be as more painful than in x86, because you pretty much have the same capabilities in x86 as in MIPS, so what? nothing special with that. The router was running Linux. It was running Linux. Cool. Yeah, it was actually pretty cool. It was actually a Russian distro. There was like a small Russian company that specializes on making Linux distros for embedded devices. So, and it was that distro, I think. So MIPS Linux is not as dead as it appears to me. Yeah, but maybe they had some sort of like custom patches for kernel to keep it alive, or maybe they were I think they were using super old kernel. I don't remember what was the kernel, but it was actually kind of super old. Maybe specifically for that, for the problem. All right, so let's try to check this pull request on our machine and confirm that it doesn't break much, and then we can try to reproduce that bug yet again. Okay. Okay, so let's fetch all of the remotes. Yep. Because modern MIPS Linux, as I rented a few ago, is a shit show. Yeah. Okay. It was probably super old Linux, but I don't remember what exactly it was. So, yeah. Alrighty. So actually, it's a little bit cold. I think I'm gonna put head on. It's really cold in Siberia today, and consequently inside. So how? It's actually getting warmer. So okay. Do I even have their remote? I don't think I have their remote. Yeah, I will have to take their remote. It's getting warmer. It was minus 45. It was minus 45. So it's definitely getting warmer. 10 beanie program, yes. Okay, let me grab this thing. Let me grab it. And I'm gonna add. Yeah. Boom. Your heating bills must be insane. Not really. We have in Russia we have a central heating first of all, and since it's central and you know mass produced, its average cost is actually lower than it would be in Europe, for example. So yeah, and they're fixed in Russia. They're like central heating and electricity is way cheaper in Russia than in Europe or USA. Mass produce heat. What's the heating source? Just a radiator. I don't know what you mean by that. Or what exactly they burn to warm up the water? I don't know. Is it mostly nuclear power over there? I don't think so. I think they're just burning coal. I don't think we'd have a nuclear plant in here. It's Sodium's head. Yeah, it's me compiling the Linux kernel. Yes, they have like a shit ton of laptops, and they just basically compile in Linux kernels. That's how. Okay, whatever. So where is the? Yeah, here it is. So I need to find the pull requestus. Organize the history, and it's 199. Okay, let's create this thing. 199. Cryptocurrencies headers, yeah. Oh yeah, I actually heard like stories that like Google or IBM or Microsoft data centers, like they usually provide the heating for like nearby villages and stuff. I heard stories like that, but I don't know how much they are true. So yeah. Okay, so I suppose here is the pull request. Bitcoin energy consumption. Okay. So here's the history 1, 2, 3, 4 history, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's really super weird. Yeah, it's still there. The problem is still there, but as far as I can tell, this particular change doesn't really break anything. Right, and what we did here is just to reorganize some stuff. End post count instead of begin post count. Did it make it easier to work with? I'm not sure if it made it easier to work with. Well, yeah, we managed to simplify this thing. Yeah, so far I see simplification. I think it was worth it. I think that variable is being changed prematurely, probably. We'll try to investigate that. Okay, looks good to me. Looks good to me. Thank you for your contribution. There we go. Thank you for your contribution. And let's merge the pull request. Confirm. There we go. There we go. Cool. Cool. So do I want to look into that? Oh, okay. I mean, it's too late. But I mean, okay, I'm gonna fix it. Thank you for you. Yeah. Your. Alright. So let's continue. So let's go back to the master and fetch. And fetch origin master. Let's remove all that and okay, let's try to investigate. Thank you, your contribution. Alright. in artificial intelligence, you are the contribution, right? You know, because it's trained on the data. No, you are contribution. Why are you contribution? All right. Cool. 1, 2, 3, 4. History. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, and it goes up. So there is a problem in down, and the problem probably. So console history. So let's find console. Console HPP. So when we have an internal thing history, so it's implemented probably somewhere here. So nice code, by the way. History down. It's pretty straightforward. I mean, I didn't see any problems here, right? Sure hope this isn't some broken ass history issue only with values 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't think so. So if you do up cursor, you just increment history up. Down is gonna be minus. I don't know why it's happening. And when you take the current one, okay, let's take a look at who's calling them. Who's calling them? You think GDB time? I'm not sure if it's a GDB time. So up. So when pop-up enabled, when pop-up is not enabled, LLDB time. Key down, 0 key down, and we have up. History current. Up and down. Does the same bug appears if you replace 1, 2, 3 with anything else? Why wouldn't it be different? Excuse me, why would it be different? Foo, bar, buzz, test, history. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, it does. So, and I think I kind of know what might be causing it. So we can try to actually move the execution here. So let's see. Maybe that's why it's lagging behind. Okay, so boom boom. Yeah, but if you don't do that, it actually skips it. So that's the problem. I didn't mean to actually type shitter instead of history. I was. Alright. Okay. So if we try to do some 1, 2, 3, 4 history. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so I see what's going on now. I see what's going on. That's why it lags behind. It lags behind intentionally because if you want to do up thingy, you want to receive this thing, right? Yeah, that's why it lags behind. Unfortunately. Yeah, I see what's going on. So it's kind of difficult to understand how to fix it. Maybe the current in history has to point on something empty then. Would this happen with bigger lists or exactly? I already know what's going on. I already know what's going on. So essentially, you have a history like this, bar, buzz. Well, let's actually use the this thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, history, and you have a current pointer, right? And as you give more and more elements there, the pointer points at the last edit one. So essentially, what we do here, we first insert current, and only then do up. Right? We insert current and only end do up. So this becomes the current. Right. And at some when you put down, we first insert the current, which will result in inserting this one and only then moving down instead of actually properly moving down. So that's essentially what happens here. So I think maybe the current should always point on something empty, and the way we have to work here is first move thing up or down and only then insert. So, but how can we point at something below? So it's actually a good question. So it will require reorganizing a lot of things in history. It will require reorganizing a lot of things in history. So we have a history capacity and so on and so forth. Oh, Hotzenplot has to leave. Okay, bye-bye. See you around. Bye-bye. Shittery. Sounds like, for some reason it sounds kind of Japanese. Shittery. I don't know why, but I know nothing about Japanese. Alright. So let's go. So when you push, in the history we have end, so this is the end, and how many things we have at the end, and we also have the current cursor. So we also have entry sizes and stuff like that. So everything looks okay. Okay, that makes sense. I need to recover in my brain how history works, right? So every time we push an element to the history, push an entry to the history, so we don't push more elements that we can fit there, and the history, we take it through the capacity, okay. Is it hard to go back to the project that haven't touched for a while? No, not really. I already explained that multiple times. Essentially, I always treat my code as someone else's code. So this, the real secret is learn how to read someone else's code, right? So how to explore someone else's code, how to test hypotheses, and then just always treat your code as someone else's code. This way, you will be able to easily go back to your previous project you haven't worked on for quite some time, because it's the same as going to someone else's project. You also haven't worked on it for quite some time. You actually never worked on it, and you have to figure out things. So I just use the same techniques, and it works quite well. So it's kind of difficult to use that technique right away. You need to practice a lot, and one good way to practice that skill is to participate in open source projects. Just look at the programs you use every day, right? You probably use some open source programs, and look at the ways you can improve that program. Download the source code, try to find a place where you need to improve this thing, and try to improve it. Treat your code as someone else's code is arguably the most useful tips for developers. Yeah, it is true. So you can blame someone else for your bad code, exactly. Have you noticed the different behavior of Windows and Linux command line history? I personally prefer Linux. I haven't noticed it because I haven't used Windows for quite some time. Oh, Potato passing by. Hello, welcome. How are you doing? Welcome. All right. I want to make a small break because I really need to pee. I've been drinking a lot of tea recently, so yeah, let's make a small break. Let's do 2 minutes. I don't think it's gonna be 3. I don't need to refill my order. Alright. So, boys and girls, let's make a small break. And you guys have fun. There we go. Yeah. Just in time compilation. Yeah. Okay, so I have an interesting idea. Can we actually... Yeah. So if you do up, we're gonna still lag behind. But we're not gonna lag behind on down. So maybe that's how we can fix that? Maybe that's gonna be the divine intellect. We are about to find out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, history. 1, 2, 3, 4, down, and it kind of... Okay, that was interesting. All right. So how is it in Linux, for example? 1, 2, 3, 4, full. 1, 2, 3, 4. It actually goes down immediately. Alright. So, and if I go down... Yeah... So, you always need, like... Maybe the current one. So, and when we use current, do we ever check for negative? Yeah, we do check for negative. And when you push something, you set the cursor to 0. Okay, I have an interesting idea. Any implementation difference in up and down? No. No, I already know the root cause. So I'm just trying to organize, think about like a better solution. I'm just trying to think about a better solution. So I can put cursor to -1. Unfortunately... So 0 is already taken. So cursor is at 0. And minus cursor, right? So this is and minus cursor. So cursor is essentially the deviation from the end. It's a deviation from the end, and it could be 0 as well. Could be 0 as well, so... console history, we go around. Why do we do -1 here? Isn't that the point? Wasn't that the point of making end plus count so you don't have to do -1? Wasn't it? Or am I missing something? I think I'm missing something. When you push something there, so you take the end. And then you increment the end. And you also increment the... Okay. So that makes sense. Why do we have -1 here? I don't understand. If it's 0... And... Why do we have -1 here? I literally don't understand. I don't think -1 is needed here. So who was touching this? We're gonna see blame? Or not? Yeah, I guess it was... I need to take a look at the previous pull request. I think I didn't review previous pull request well enough. This doesn't make sense. Like, what was the point if you still have to do end -1? I think I'm missing something, or maybe the implementer misses something. But I mean, since I already merged the pull request, it doesn't matter because I'm responsible for these changes now. Anyway. So cursor is 0. So count -1 was needed. This is like the whole point. Like the whole point of actually implementing it as end plus count, so you don't have to do that. To take responsibility. Okay. I'm taking responsibility. Sure. Okay. So, oh, holy shit. Like, I mean, could have at least asked me what's the point of this issue before trying to implement it. Or maybe like I'm missing something. Like I wanted it to be like that, so you don't have to think about this -1s and stuff like that. And yeah, it doesn't work. So you still need -1, but I don't remember why. Because end, what end points to? End points. I think end should point at the element you're currently in. Oh, I see. God damn it. Should have implemented it myself. Alright. So... cursor -1. Okay, so this is that. And we're also making it like this. We could do it like that then. So the cursor is going to be this. And that means we can lag behind, can we? That means we can lag behind. So let me think, chat. Let's just forget about the current implementation, right? How would we organize the history, right? We always push the history like to the back or whatever. So here's the history and whatnot. And maybe at this point, we don't have any cursor, right? We don't really have any cursor, right? Once you press up and down, the cursor magically should appear. So if you in a state when there is no cursor and you press up, the cursor will appear here. If you press down, it should be probably appear. Yeah, it cannot appear anywhere because it's not there. So once you go here, 1, 2, 3, 4, full, and you go up, and then you go down. It's like there is this slot in the history, like a virtual slot in the history that is empty, to which you can go back. And okay. Maybe this is how we can implement it then. That is very interesting. So what if we always have this empty thing in the history that we can just use and go to? I think that's very interesting. What do you guys think? Yeah. So you can go back and forth and up to this like additional slot. This additional slot that you can then use. That's a very interesting approach, but how can we pull it off? How pushing will look like? Pushing into the history will mean that you set the value to that slot, and then you insert another value which is an empty value. So you can push and you can insert. Okay, so maybe that's exactly what you need to do here. So you need to be able to push and you need to be able to insert. So what if we exactly do that? How about this? Push and insert. And you can insert only into the current one. Right. So push will add a new one, insert will replace the current one, maybe even replace or something. Alright. So that's a very interesting approach, but it may actually help us to do the correct thing. Alrighty, so this is going to be replaced. It's going to be console history. And again, this one is pretty straightforward. Here we find the place where we do all of that. So this is J. We copy everything into the current position, right? Into the current position. So it could be like replace, it will always replace the last one, I think. It will always replace the last one. And we can probably do that only if the count of the history itself is greater than 0. If it's not greater than 0, there's nothing much we can do about it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Right, it doesn't really matter. So this is what we're gonna do inside here. So, and we take this J and we go back in history one step. We go back in history that one step, and we're copying this entire thing there. And then we have to, then we increment the cursor, but we don't really have to do that. So we also set the cursor to 0, but cursor doesn't really matter here. Where do we do push? So history push. History push. So this is the only place where we do history push. And I think it has to be something like this. History push, history replace. I think we could merge these two things together. I think we could. So, and we need to distinguish when we don't have anything. If count is greater than 0, then if it equal to 0, that means we're gonna do that. So, of course, we set the entry to to this, no matter what it is, but it could be done somewhere here, right? It could be done here. So then we set the J to that, and then we're gonna increment this stuff. Equal to 0. So if it's greater than 0, so what we'll have to do is essentially do -1. Right, we're gonna do -1. We're gonna do -1. We set this thing like this. What I was doing? What was the best way to organize all of that? What was the best way to organize all of that? I want to have this empty thingy. But I still don't know how to represent. What would be the best way to represent it? Is it to add a new element? Is it to add a new element, or just have a special value for cursor? Is it a special value for cursor? I don't think it is a special value for cursor. It could be like a 0, could be a special value for cursor. 0 could be a special. Why do I need to rewrite anything? It's not about the code, it's about the approach. What are you guys talking about? It's about the approach. I cannot decide if I want to have additional elements or I want to have a special value for the cursor. Which one would be better and which one would be like easier to maintain? That's what I'm talking about. There's no need to rewrite anything. Hello, the Soul Seeker. Welcome to the stream. It's a little bit kind of itchy with this thing. All right. So let me see. So, and the current is that, so, if it's gonna be a special thing, it's gonna be a special thing. Okay, let me change this back. Let's go back. Let's go back a bit. And in the history, so did I actually do that? So yeah, first we take the current one, and then we go up, right? Then we go up. But if we're gonna have an empty thing, that means we'll have to go up here, right? We'll have to go up here and then take the current one. And if we're gonna go down, then we'll go have here, and this is what we'll have here. So this is the current. And speaking of the current, maybe instead of returning that, so here's the current. Copy from. Yeah, okay, I think solution is actually pretty straightforward. We can just return string view. Yes, okay, we can just return string view. Yeah, cool. So we're just returning string view. We're just returning string view, and in a console, because this is going to be the string view that you have to insert, and this is how we will be able to give that virtual empty line. Yeah. So we're introducing a level of encapsulation. Okay. So the current one is gonna be just string view, and you're not supposed to really touch the internals of this thing, only these methods, right? And that's why in C++ we have private, right? All right. So let me see. So it's gonna be up and down, but 0 is going to represent a non-existent thing. Alright, 0 does represent a non-existent thing. So if cursor is equal to 0, if cursor is equal to 0, we always return an empty string view, and this is what you have to use here. Otherwise, if it's greater than 0, the actual thing that we're going to use here, so cursor is int, j is going to be cursor -1, because that means it's 1, and this is where we'll have to replace the cursor with j. And I think this is kind of dumb. Like, why do we do it like that? Like, we could have just checked if j is greater than count, right? Is less than count, because if it's equal, it's going to be false. Right, it's going to be false. Right, and at some point, if it's over that, we have to return like -1, but do we even check this thing? Maybe we don't even have to check that, we can just return the empty thing here. Right, so this is going to be our approach here, and when we are doing up, we can allow that to be equal to count, I think. We can allow it to be equal to count. What is this? Why do we have so many walls of text in the chat? Alright. Cool, we don't need this thing here anymore, and essentially what I can do here now, I can just do it like this. History current and a boom. Okay, history up, then edit field copy from string view history current. Right, so this is how we're gonna approach all of this. This is how we're gonna approach all of this. There we go. So I think it's actually pretty cool. So history up, and then current will give you string view. Nice. Is it gonna compile? Yeah, so, and this is the index that we have now, that we're gonna take, so it's gonna be just something like I know that the variable names are kind of crappy, but I just need to first implement the idea, and then I can make it a little bit better. Okay, console. So first we're gonna have entry sizes. It's gonna be I, and then we're gonna have entries I. So that's basically what we have here as a string view, and we're gonna just return that, and that should compile. Nice. So it does compile, and now if I go here, right? So 2. Seems to be working, but it also goes into like this void thingy, which we can fix at some point, right? 2, 3, 4, history, 1, 2, 3, 4, and down, and it works. Fixed. Got Cooter, by the way. So yeah, it's pretty cool. But I think like there's this problem, right? That it goes to this interesting state. For some reason, right? So when we go up, it can become equal to count. And that should be all right. That should be all right, but it's not all right. So it's gonna be less than count. Console history capacity. It's gonna be -1. To be fair, we don't really need to do that if that's what it is. All right. So yeah, I think that's how we can do that here. So it's gonna be cursor because it could be 1 as well, and it has to be either equal as well. If it's 0, but if it's completely greater than count, we shouldn't return anything. Alright, so I'm trying to fix the other thing here. Oh, it has to be cursor. Yeah, that's right. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. History. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down. And it still goes up, and it goes up. So in up, we're incrementing, and it goes beyond everything here. Maybe we shouldn't just do that then? Just allow it to be like that? Is that what's gonna happen? Why does it go below? I don't understand. It shouldn't. It shouldn't go there. I think I understand. Just a second. Just give me a second. Just give me a second. I think I can comprehend why it does that. Because if it's less, okay. So I think that's the thing we have to do. That's the thing we have to do. And maybe afterwards is gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4 history. 1, 2, 3, 4. And doesn't go any further, but you can go down and yes, fucking yes, I solved it. It actually works. Holy shit, it actually works. And I think we managed to do that. So and then we can check the history. And it doesn't. Yeah, this is actually pretty cool. So this is like a proper history and shit. But now let's test that this situation, right? Okay, cool. That's actually super cool. So that's was the fix. That was the fix, and it actually simplified the code a little bit. Do we need this shit? Do we need this shit? I don't think we need it because we're never gonna hit the incorrect memory anyway. So whatever, kind of whatever. We're still gonna be within the correct memory, right? So that's gonna be okay. Are you storing empty commands in history? Yes. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 history. Okay, so that looks cool. Nice. Okay, so let's create a separate branch and let's try to fix that. Okay. Fix history scrolling lag. So it's a 333, and let's push that right into the repo. Let's push that right into the repo, and yeah. Make a pull request. How about that? Let's make a pull request shot. Guys, are you ready for an epic pull request? Because you have to be ready for an epic pull request. So 33. Okay. There we go. I actually removed more code than I added. Look at that. So more code has been removed, which means it's a good change, right? Less code, less bugs. I mean, there is actually truth to that. As far as I know, like in management, there is a metric as density of bugs, right? It's just amount of bugs that have been reported, like amount of lines in your code divided by amount of known bugs. And yeah, this is like your density of bugs. Maintenance cost. Maintenance cost. I'm not sure how useful of a metric that is, because like the amount of reported bugs is not the amount of bugs in your code, right? Because your code contains unlimited amount of bugs. To be fair, you can always find more. It's just sometimes some bugs are really difficult to find, but they're there. And it all depends on the definition of a bug, right? So what is a bug? I think the most useful definition of a bug is unexpected behavior, right? Essentially, feature. What separates a feature from a bug? Feature is expected behavior. Bug is unexpected behavior. According to that definition, I actually mentioned that several times. Is that to fix a bug, you can basically do that two ways. First, to change the behavior, or to change the expectations, right? Since bug is an expected behavior, you can either change the behavior or change the expectations. And this is why you can turn a bug into a feature. You basically change the expectations, right? You basically change the expectations. And again, because of this like definition, any project contains indefinite, like unlimited amount of bugs, because it just depends on your expectations. And what's funny is that over time, the amount of actual bugs in your software changes as your expectations of the software changes. That's why like these kind of metrics that try to like measure specifically the amount of bugs there and there, it's kind of pointless, because bug is such an ephemeral thing. It's unexpected behavior. Well, the question is, what are your expectations? What the fuck do you expect? Well, I mean, it is philosophical, because it's a really hard problem, right? To measure the quality of the software is really hard, because we don't really know what is a bug. Well, we know, but measuring it is kind of pointless. It's like a quantum bug if you look at it. Yeah, sure. Basically change the way you think and it's gone. Well, it's one way of doing that. Well, here's the interesting thing. When I say that bug is unexpected behavior, it includes not only your expectations. It's not only your expectations, but also the expectations of your users. Your expectations, you can always change them. It's not that big of a deal. Expectations of your users is really difficult to change. So here's the problem, right? So some expectations you can change, your expectations. But some expectations you cannot change the expectations of your users. And that way, and because of that, the only way you have to fix a bug is to change the behavior. Sometimes you can change the behavior, sometimes you can change the expectations, just depends. You see what I mean? All right. I have no users but me. That means you can easily change your expectations then. So, all right. So let's actually merge everything that we have here. I think. Oh, we're still waiting for continuous integration. Okay. Does anyone have any questions maybe while we're waiting for continuous integration? Like the bug that you're storing empty comments in the history, it's clearly not a bug for you, but it's a bug for me. Exactly. Exactly. If you don't expect that your program works well, you have no bugs. Exactly. Exactly. Just expect your code to never do what it should, then it's a bug free. I think it falls into, I think it's a pretty close to some sort of like a Russell paradox or something. It's like you're trying to expect the unexpectable, right? There is a Russell paradox somewhere there. Also, bug can be defined non-conformist to program specification requirements. Just a more fancy way of saying unexpected behavior, because specification requirements are the expectations essentially. Have you ever tried a language that interfaces with SDL2 that doesn't require recompiling after every change? I have tried them. You could say that bugs are driven by the users using it as well. Yeah, expectations, yes. I didn't see any contradictions. I read somewhere that the only bug-free software that exists is that software that nobody uses. Yeah, right, because that software doesn't have any expectations. So that's why it doesn't have any bugs. Alright, we're still waiting for FreeBSD. What you expected to not work, it's also possible. So when we go into that level of discussion, I really recommend to watch Life Overflow's video on Universal XSS. Life Overflow UXS, I think it's what UXSX. Yeah, this one. So if I understand correctly, yeah, I really recommend to watch this one. Essentially, I think it was a bug in Google Chrome on iOS. It was a bug in a Google Chrome on iOS. And the thing about iOS applications is that if you want to make a browser, you are obligated to use WebKit that comes with iOS. And what's interesting is that a Google team found a bug in that WebKit, and this is something they cannot fix. They not only found a bug, they found a vulnerability. And since the browser depends on this underlying layer and they cannot change it, they couldn't fix the vulnerability in their own browser without Apple team. And Apple team was actually lagging behind. They weren't fixing it or weren't responding very fast. And Google needed to quickly do something, because this is actually quite serious vulnerability. Right, what they did on the higher level, they detected that somebody's trying to use that vulnerability, and they crashed the application before the vulnerability goes down to lower level where it will be able to do some harm. So yeah, in this particular case, crashing the application was the expected behavior. It's actually a pretty interesting case, but it is the crashing the application was the expected behavior, because that's the only thing they could do in that particular situation. So yeah, it's actually a really interesting video. Really recommend to watch it. Okay, so I think we fixed it. By the way, I don't want to close it because I wasn't really reporting it. So I'm gonna just do it. It's really cold. Holy fuck! I need my hat and I need my tea. God fucking damn it! Ooh. Alright. Did I not edit it? I was actually planning to edit it. Come on. Alright. So I'm gonna just merge it, and I'm gonna leave the comment. I'm gonna delete the branch. Okay. So tried no heating in severe. We have heating. The radiator is actually fucking hot as well. Wait a second. Is it not hot enough? Yeah, it's actually hot. The radiator is actually super hot, it's just not enough. That's how cold it is. It's like -40 outside. Maybe my apartment is not really well isolated or something, but we have a heating and it's actually pretty strong. Take a blanket and wrap it around yourself. I already have a blanket nearby. I don't want to go there. Okay, tried to address the problem in 337. Please check out the latest version when you get a chance and close the issue if the problem is fixed. By the way, hello Thong Ragu, welcome to the stream. Haven't seen you in a while, I think, I don't know. Worst I've experienced is -5. Where do you live, by the way, if it's not a secret? -40 doesn't say I can barely handle a 5. Greece. Oh, okay, so that makes sense. I mean, we just have a warmer clothing, right? So I have a really super thick winter jacket that I go out in with. How do we speak English? I don't know. Okay, so this is what I wanted to leave here. Alright. Definitely when you sit near open window. Yeah. I've came before in minus 50 Fahrenheit. I didn't even know what is it in Celsius. Oh, well, it's decent enough. Like it's like an average, like Siberian temperature, I would say. Freedom units. And minus 40 Celsius to Fahrenheit. So the oh really? Is that a mistake? Huh. That's really interesting. It's not correct, right? That's a bug in the simulation. Huh. Okay. So, and 35 is gonna be... Oh, okay, I see. So it's just different... Okay, I see. That's really strange. Minus 40 in Celsius is the same as in Fahrenheit? Huh. That's really fun. Okay. Alright, so we tried to fix this bug. Let me take a look at other things. Document minimal dependency versions. Okay. Alright, probably already solved by this, but lib.png is not used by a current version of something. Huh. Alright, so what do we have here? Document library versions. Oh, okay. Alright, so yeah, it's kind of interesting. Is American system breaks down, I think 98. Well, I mean, Americans use metric system anyway, so because all of the imperial units in US, as far as I know, they are defined in terms of metric system anyway. It's just sort of like a quick hack that they use. And in engineering and science, they use metric system as well as in cooking, by the way, which is quite interesting. Also in medicine, which is quite close to science and in engineering, I guess. Anyway, so let me see. So. I did immerse everything, and I think I'm ready to get rid of this. Wait. I think I'm an idiot. Yeah. In cooking they use cups and spoons and weird shit. Okay. Been to US once, it's quite confusing when they say it's 70 degrees outside. Yeah, I can imagine that. Imagine football.
Я не imagine football in field DS.
Funk Chi. Holy shit. Thank you. Thank you so much for 19 months of tier 1 subscription. Thank you, and welcome to our epic Frozen Club. That's right. That's what we are now, because it's super fucking cold. It's minus 40 outside, and inside is actually quite cold as well, but I don't know what's the temperature inside. But central heating, the legendary Soviet central heating, doesn't fucking help at all. The radiator is actually very hot right now, but it's not enough to keep me warm. So I have to rely on beanies and tea. So, need Soviet insulation. Yes. Maybe something wrong with insulation actually. But it was okay, like at minus 20, it's actually quite okay, let's say. So you do tell me the size of your house in leagues, thank you. Alright, so yeah. Let's update README. I think we have a problem in README. In README we have a version of libpng, and we do not depend on libpng anymore. That's what's interesting. So our project depends only on SDL2. And that's it. well, it does have other dependencies like with STB, but STB actually compiles statically, so it doesn't really matter. So the thing I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna just remove that from here. Remove redundant dependencies from README, and we're gonna close that issue 26, and I'm gonna just push that right into the repo. Did you install your Windows? No, I really didn't, and I didn't think I would need to, because at -20 it's actually okay. It's actually okay here. At -40 it's just, and nobody expected that temperature at this time, so I don't know. Alright, so this thing is closed. Alright, so, and we have another pull request with min-gw32 something something. Switch not needed. OS automatically defined in Windows at suffix xz in Windows app. Initially there was a check like there should be macro, but when I compile from CMD there is no such macro, and when I try to compile with MC shell my package can't find libc, and pacman fails in such location that I couldn't specify because it's past that, but maybe I'm doing something wrong. It's interesting. What's your which config? Holy shit. Thank you for detailed answer. Oh, in the source code I have to have it too. For some reason I thought that it would work, so it's impossible. Okay, I don't understand. So do I merge this PR or not? Oh shit. Like, I don't know, like you guys having like a nice conversation here, like do I merge it or not? Do you guys need it? Alright, so, and yeah, we have that one now. Alright, so I think we addressed all of the pull requests. Classic open source, by the way, classic open source. We'll just let them be. Okay, so looks good to me. I also have 2 pull requests. What the fuck is that? Oh, okay. Oh yeah, this one's is quite unclear. We have an. Oh, we just get another one. Yes. Okay. Looks good. Wait. I wanna check. I wanna check first. I wanna check first. Okay, there's even a link here. Okay. Show all checks. Looks good. Okay. Bill Keck. Looks good to me. And cool. Thank you for your contribution. There we go. Merge pull request. Nice. The sentence is so Pepega. Well, I mean, it's kind of Pepega, but it's true. Epic. So let's fetch the latest stuff. I think I really need another cup of tea. Alright. Merge origin master. Cool. So what's gonna be the next thing? Do we have anything else that needed to be done? So here we already addressed that. There's no weapon that uses the spike mechanics. Yeah, spike mechanics is actually super cool. So spike mechanic, it's this one. You see? Yep. And you can do this kind of stuff. So the stomping is not supposed to actually produce a spike. We just use the stomping as a way to test the spike. This is how I look and feel when it's 4 degrees outside. Yeah, but it's like 10 times colder here. It's 10 times colder. All right. And it's also kind of interesting, like today at morning there was like a frost fog. You know, when it's really cold, there is like a fog in the air of some sort. You can actually, I think you can see something like that in Yakutsk all the time. So if you Google up Yakutsk photos, yeah, something like that. So it was something like that today at morning. Yeah, in Yakutsk. It's usually like that in Yakutsk, but in Novosibirsk it's quite rare. How well at fare in Siberian winter? Well, if you have warm clothing, it should be fine. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Yeah, it was like that today at morning. Looks beautiful. Yeah, but it's not Novosibirsk. It's another Siberian city. So Siberia is actually quite huge. Siberia is quite huge. Yeah. Okay. Excuse me. Yep. So what's gonna be the next thing? I think I wanna try to address the weapon spike situation. Oh, minus 48. It's pretty warm in Yakutsk right now. 48. It's usually 50. So I'm gonna make a cup of tea. Do you guys have any questions while I'm making a cup of tea? Pretty warm. What tea you like the most? Earl Grey. And I'm drinking Earl Grey right now. That's how my girlfriend likes to keep the apartment. Pretty warm? Is that what you mean? What happens if you don't tea? You pee? I don't know. There's not that many things that rhyme with tea. Well, I mean, there's a lot of things that rhyme with tea. What kind of question is that? Learn patience. I don't understand what you're trying to ask me. What if I'm a vegetarian? Come on. Alrighty. So I'm gonna go to the kitchen. As usual. I'm gonna go to the kitchen, turn on my kettle, and I'm gonna get back. Don't go anywhere, or as usual, if you go anywhere, if you even try to touch this close button on your tab, you're gonna get instantly banned. Alright? So don't go anywhere. I'm gonna get back, and yeah, we're gonna continue. I'm new to this channel. Same. Believe it or not. Same. What's up? What's up? Alrighty, so what we're gonna work on? No weapon that uses spike mechanics. Well, actually I want to try to implement something that sends a wave of spikes, if you know what I mean. Sends the wave of spikes. So we, yeah, essentially, as you can see, you can send a single spike. Right, here's a single spike. But I want a wave of them that goes to the right. Right. So it starts from here and it's just like boom, 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 boom. Wear mask and hat simultaneously to scare out people from the street. And also speak with a thick Russian accent, right? A little hungry. So, okay, so where is the spike? We do have spikes in here, right? Spike. Where is this spike? Yeah, here it is. So spike is this entity. And what I'm thinking is, so we can activate the spike and whatnot. I'm gonna introduce another entity, which is essentially a wave, right? Which is essentially a wave which creates more and more spikes and stuff like that, if you know what I mean. So let's try to introduce that. So let's go to 329. Or maybe not. Maybe I'm gonna do that outside of that scope of this issue. Spike wave. Let's introduce such concept as spike wave. Something spike wave HPP. Maybe it should be inside of spike module as well, because it's still related to spikes. Yeah, spike wave. Let's actually remove that and keep it inside of like spike. I think it kind of makes sense to keep it like that. Strike spike wave. So, and essentially what is going to be, this one is interesting. So it's going to be like yet another object or entity that lives in the game, and I don't know. So maybe we're going to have the amount of spikes that needs to be produced. Then maybe the duration, the delay between the spikes. Right? How many of them we have to produce, delay. All of that could be actually constants. Yeah, we can make them constants. Why not? So the thing we need to keep track of, the current position at which we're spawning the spikes, right? At which we're spawning the spikes, and also the animation counter, similar to the one in the spike itself, right? So similar to the spike itself, right? And maybe we also need to keep track of the direction. Let me think about it. The direction could be something like this: vec to f, vec. Yeah. So in that direction, we're actually doing another thing. Alright, and here what we're gonna do, we can try to activate this thing as well at a particular position with a particular velocity, and of course we will need two methods here just to render this. We don't really need to render it, by the way. We don't need to render it, we only need to update it, because the only thing it does, it's not a visible object, the only thing it does, it just spawns the spikes. So that means we need update, and we also need a pointer to the game, because you can only spawn a new spike through the game, right? You can only spawn it through the game, and that's the whole thing that we're gonna have here, right? That's the whole thing. So let's go ahead and try to implement it. So I'm gonna go to this spike CPP, and we just need to implement these two methods. No open that uses spike mechanics. Yeah, it's still true. It is still true. Spike wave. Alright. So when we activate it, do we really need to activate it? Let's remove it. I don't think it's that useful. Alright. So I'm just thinking what would be the easiest way to do all of that. So you have a duration. Okay, I think my kettle is ready. So I'm gonna go to the kitchen, brew up some tea, and go back. Don't go anywhere. coming. Don't freeze before you get tea. I didn't freeze. When the cat away, the mice will play. What the hell are you talking about? None of your messages make sense, learn patience this like today. Alright. Nice. Starts to feel rebellious and see. Inconsiderate living. Oh, okay. What's up, Chilla Souther? Welcome to the streams. To be fair, I think I'm gonna have like a count of these spikes. So it's gonna be count of the spikes. Count of the spikes, and also we're gonna keep track of the time passed. Count of the spikes and the past. Yeah. So how many we already considered? Right. If count is less the spike wave max count, then we continue doing this thing. Right? We continue even caring about this entire stuff. So we take the T. So basically what I want to have is intervals, right? Periodic intervals. So, and this is where I can do T. It should be cooldown. Cooldown. Cooldown minus dt. And if cooldown less or equal than 0, that means we have to spawn a spike. So how do we spawn a spike? Spike? I think it's literally, yeah, it's literally called spawn a spike. We take the game and we spawn a spike, and we spawn specifically ice spike. Right, and as far as I know, you can spawn a spike at a particular position, can you? Yeah, you can provide position, and we know the position because we store the current position. Right, we store the current position, and then we need to modify right, the position. Yeah, it has to be a direction. There we go. So yeah, and then we have to reset the cooldown, and this is going to be spike wave cooldown. Cool. And on top of that, we increment the count. So this is the entire thing. This is the entire stuff. And maybe it does make sense to still have an activate. But the only thing we'll have to provide here, I think, is the position and direction. Hello, Beat69 stream. Welcome. How are you doing? Direction. So, and this is how we activate everything. Spike wave. Activate. This position equal position. You're great. Nice. Glad to hear that. So the count is going to be 0, and the cooldown is going to be 0 as well to automatically trigger the first spike. And it's going to go in the particular direction, right? It's going to go in the particular direction. Cool. So now we can try to compile all of that just to see if I didn't fuck up much. So we don't have these constants. We need to introduce them. Let's quickly introduce them to the game. So it's going to be an assets. Here's the vars. Do we have spike? Okay, ice spike appear. Okay, nice. So we can introduce spike wave max count. How many spikes do we want to see, by the way? So it's going to be in integer, and let's say we're going to have at least 5, right? So this is how many of them we're gonna have. What is the spike cooldown? So after what amount of time we need to spawn another spike? Let's say maybe every second. So that means this entire thing will play for 5 seconds, which is, I guess, okay. Yeah, so that should compile now, hopefully. What are the numbers to the left of your lines? They look like lines now, but all messed up. It's a relative numbers. Relative numbers. Yeah. So relative numbers showing distance from the cursor position. Yeah. So essentially, this one shows the current, and the rest of them are relative. How many lines down and up since the center? And the question is, why do you need something like that? Well, it's because it allows me to, through a repeaters, quickly jump somewhere. For example, I want to jump here. That means I have to repeat up 13 times. And then I can jump here. That means I have to repeat down 24 times. And that like enables me with quickly navigating. Right. So it's quite convenient. It's actually a pretty common trick in editors like Emacs or Vim. Especially Vim. I think in Vim it's more common than in Emacs. Almost as if you're using Vim. Yeah. Do you actually use it? I had it enabled for years and never used it. I'm trying to get used to it. I do use it quite a lot off stream, but for some reason on the stream I forget about it. I think it's just a matter of developing the reflexes, and I'm actively trying to develop reflexes to start using it. It's just sometimes I forget about it. But I think it's doable. I think it's possible to get used to it. Alright, so let's continue. We need to add spike wave to the game state so we can spawn it and whatnot. Best Vim command starts with D, by the way. Alright. Okay, let's go to the game. Spike. And let's actually put it somewhere here. It's gonna be spike wave, spike wave. And in the game, so everything is actually initialized with 0. Oof. Yes, I have a principle. That 0 initialized structure has to be a valid structure and it has to be empty. 0 initialized spike wave is an active spike wave. Right. Because we increase in count until we meet the maximum count. So that means we have to reverse the logic. It has to be like this: if count is greater than zero, we do that and we decrement the count. Right, we decrement the count. And here we have to set spike wave max count. What's up, Bull Machine? Welcome to the stream. You're from Novosibirsk? How do you like the weather in Novosibirsk today? Isn't it nice? I think it's pretty chill. Cheers, by the way. It's pretty chill, I would say. Minus 40. Okay. So, super cold. Yeah, it's unusual, pretty unusual. You have to even have like wear hats inside. How about that? Okay, so now we have a spike, but we need to wire it up to the loop and stuff like that. Do we have spikes here? We do have spikes, and this is exactly what I'm going to do. Spike, spike wave, update, and I'm going to provide. No, this is not this. I need to find update. Shazavak, what's up, Shazavak Osama? Welcome to the streamers. I will see myself out. Sure. See you around, I suppose. Bye bye. Where are the spikes? Spikes. Where are the spikes? I don't see the spikes. Where are they? Where are they? Oh, here they are. Spike. I use lots of IDE for development, but often one of my professors in uni says we should use Vim or another text editors. Do you think using IDE does make a lazy and more dependent on IDEs? I don't think about that. I think people should use whatever they're comfortable with, and I don't think telling people what to use is a good idea generally. So honestly, I just don't give a shit what people use. Okay, spike wave, and we're also gonna do update. So yeah, this is my like official legit position on IDEs and editors. I think people should not be told what to use. That's my position and opinion. Yeah, I think they should just choose whatever they are comfortable with and just use that. Alright. I know, pretty controversial position, isn't it? Use Notepad++. Yeah, Notepad++ is actually quite nice for if you're like using Windows. Where did the wave counter go? It wasn't that fun, so I just removed it. Recording stack overflow search bar. Alrighty, so here's a spike wave, and if I try to run this code, I want the government decide it. Okay. Alright. Cool. So now we have a spike wave. Let's try to activate spike wave on a stump. I think my first things idea is make us lazy. You already said that. Appreciate your opinion. No, you're welcome. It's just my opinion. My opinion doesn't matter. My opinion changes nothing. It's just my opinion. So, all right. So spike. So when I'm gonna go to, yeah, I need to go to the stump. I think this has to be somewhere in the entity. Spike. Yeah, this is what we do here. We activate the spike. So instead of activating the spike, I want to take the spike wave and I activate it like this. Activate it. So I'm gonna activate it at the position fit, and now what's gonna be the direction? Let's say that the direction is gonna be vec2. We're only gonna move it to the right, right? So it's gonna be 100. Maybe it's gonna be spike wave step, and in terms of y, it's not gonna really go anywhere, right? So that's our thing. That's our thing. And I'm gonna put it here, spike wave step, and let's say it's gonna be around 100. I think that's gonna be enough. Use tools that make you code faster. Well, depends on what you mean. What you mean exactly. Because I would probably argue that typing faster not equals developing software faster. Alright, so let's see if it does activate anything. And oh, there we go, here they are. Here's the wave. Here's the wave. It's coming. It's actually coming. So let's try to update something. So cooldown has to be like very, very small. Right, and now, so something like this. Bow. Maybe even faster, I would say. 0.5, how about that? And maybe we're gonna have like 10 of them instead. That's actually pretty fucking pogue. Holy shit, this is so pogue. So 25. Nah, 5 is okay. So they should vanish faster, right? As you say. Poof speed is 1 second. Let's actually make a half of that poof speed. Right, so this is gonna be... Oh fuck! It has to be. Yeah, this is actually dumb. 2. It's not a duration. It's a speed. How about half of that? It's pretty cool. But I kind of liked 1. I think it was okay. Yeah, I think it was okay. Yeah, cool. Wave step. We can actually increase the step, so they can like step even further. Oh shit, that's actually cool. I like this step. I think that's better. And we can say that we're gonna have 5 of them. Yeah, only 5. We can also adjust that a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. So we also need to determine the direction. The problem is that it's always to the right. So it would be nice to select the direction depending on where the player looks at. So yeah, and the spikes don't even damage anything, so that's kind of lame. So it's something that we'll have to fix as well. So I'm gonna quickly add spike wave. Spike wave to the game. To do spike waves don't deal any damage right now. I'm not sure where they have to deal the damage, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. I know a certain chatter who would have said step on me right about now. Haha. Don't step on me, son. Yeah. Spray, goddamn cool. Oh, another problem is that, you see, it goes through. It would be cool if the thing would actually go around on the tiles, you know what I mean? I think. So this is another thing that we would like to have. But this has to be implemented properly, right? This has to be implemented properly. So let's put it like this. Spike wave goes through the tiles. It should follow the tile surface, in my opinion. I think that's what has to happen. So they don't deal any damage. And stuff like that. So, and another thing I wanted to quickly do before I make a pull request is in the entity. So I'm gonna remove that. So I activated the spike. So I want to determine direction depending on the direction of the player. Right. So how can we do all of that? So the horizontal direction of the player, right? The horizontal one. So that means, I think it's something like gun. Yes, here's the gun direction. And I create a new vector out of the gun direction, only uses X, right? It's either that or that. Then I normalize this entire stuff, and then I multiply it by a spike wave step. And that's it. That's the whole math, right? That's the whole math to actually make it go in the direction the player looks at. It's actually kind of perfect, if you think about it. So we're starting a spike wave at the feet of the entity, and this is how we determine where this thing has to go, left or right. We look at the gun direction, we take on the X. To be fair, we can even make it cooler by doing something like this, multiply it by 1. and that one has to be 0, right? You see, then normalize that and then multiply by spike wave. So that's maths for you. That's maths for you. And let's see if it's gonna work. Vector maths or linear algebra or something. So let's go to the room where we have some space to do things. Now the wave should go to the right, and if I go here, it goes to the left. So you see, I can now choose the direction, and direction is chosen just by the vector mathematics, right? So depending on where you look at, it's just gonna be that. It's pretty cool. Alrighty, so let's do a committee. Let's do a committee. Oh, there's another thing that I forgot, is that we only support one spike wave. Game supports only one spike wave. We should implement a pool of them, like entities, projectiles, spikes, etc. There we go. So this is another to-do that I would like to have. Alright, so we literally introduce the spike wave. Introduce spike wave mechanism. And I'm gonna push that right into the repo. Right into the repo. By the way, subscribe now for me to take off my hat about that. Hairstyle reveal after a subscription. Not even joking, seriously. If you subscribe now, I'm gonna take off my hat and reveal my baldness that I'm very ashamed of, and that's exactly why I'm wearing a hat. Alright, so let's create a pull request. Mickens. Okay. So, I introduced a couple of to-dos. And now I need to snitch them up. Snitch is a special tool that I use to keep track of the to-dos in my source code. That's a TOS, by the way. Really? Why is it TOS? Oh, probably it is TOS. Okay, don't sub then, if it's TOS. Self-harm? Oh, you're not allowed like to take a piece of your clothing for subs, I guess. Well, I was joking. I mean, don't sub. Someone will find it sexual content. Ah, god damn it. My hairstyle's too sexy for Twitch. All right. Okay, so let's do. Let's snitch it up. Snitch. A report. A prepend body introduced in 338. Introduced in 338. Well, that's a very interesting discovery. Didn't think about that. Language agnostic tool, by the way. You see what's going on here? God fucking damn it, okay. Game supports only one spike wave, yeah. It's very fun. Spike wave deal to deal. Okay, so we need to fix that. To don't deal any damage. So that's what I wanted to do here. No, yes, yes. Goes through the tiles, yes. Okay, and we're reporting everything now. Cool. So, and I'm ready to push that right into the repo, and as you can see, we created separate issues for them. How about that? Isn't that amazing? I think it's pretty goddamn amazing. Alrighty. So we're gonna wait for continuous integration, and that was actually super cool, boys and girls, believe it or not. Yeah, we implemented spike waves. That's pretty good, actually. Yeah, it's a pretty cool tool. If you're talking about Snitch, I'm not sure what you're talking about, but you can find this tool here. It basically collects to-dos in your repo and reports them as issues. It supports GitHub, GitLab, Gitty, I don't remember if it supports Bitbucket. I think we had plans to support Bitbucket. Yeah. So that's today's progress. I think that's kind of cool. Oh, and also another thing that we implemented is that if you fall down too much, right, you'll die at some point. Yeah, there we go. So you die around this point. We don't even have any entities, but I can inspect an entity 0, and yeah, this is me, and I'm dead. But I can reset at any point. Okay, cool. That's pretty goddamn cool. Bam, bam, bam. So today was a pretty productive stream, not gonna lie. But unfortunately, boys and girls, it is time for me to go. Thanks everyone who's watching me right now. I really appreciate it. Have a good one, and I see you, guess when? Guess when I'm gonna see you? I'm gonna see you all tomorrow. Tomorrow, according to the schedule, we're gonna be developing a Lisp in C. Ganoven Banana, thank you so much for 5 months of tier 1 subscription. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and welcome to our epic Lisp club. So yeah, tomorrow we're gonna be developing a Lisp and C. So this is the project that we revived recently. So it's called eBisp. It's supposed to be like embedded Lisp, essentially like a library that you can link with your project and use Lisp as a scripting language. Don't get free small streaming. Okay, thank you. I'll try to. So, and we're gonna continue developing this tomorrow. Oh, header. Yeah, I forgot this. Yes, there we go. Yeah, check out the schedule for more information on different projects we're working on. Yeah, we're working on different projects pretty much every day. Also, check out our bots channel. This stream is going to be there, but tomorrow we upload them on the next day. And also check out our Discord server for offline discussion with the community. And while you're waiting for epic language Lisp development, let's maybe rate somebody. How about that? Who should we rate? Is anyone doing anything epic right now? Who can we rate? Eggman. Haha. Pilot is streaming. I think we need to rate Pilot. Oh, he's doing games and shit. He's not doing development though. So yeah, we need to rate somebody who's doing development. To be fair, Pilot rated us recently, so maybe we should. I don't know. I can rate him next time he's doing programming. Dev C++. Is it English? It's probably English. I'm not sure if it is English or not. TypeScript. Totally unprofessional, chill and sleepy. Advent of code in F#. How about that? I like that. Do they have a mic?
Need to have a geometry rating of 1, 2.
They do have mic. Okay, let's rate them. Day 9. So that's pretty cool. I like Advent of Code. I participated in Advent of Code for the first time this year, and I actually enjoyed it. Like, I heard about it a lot before, but I didn't expect that I would enjoy it. So yeah, let's rate them. All right. Get ready for the raid, boys and girls. Get ready for the raid, and I see you all tomorrow. Love you.